So, in our last session, we put a bow on Anaria's watch. We finally finished everything that we wanted to finish while we were there. We finalized putting the solar panels on the puddle jumper.
That's right.
Learned a little bit about dragons by researching in the Anaria's Watch library. You met with the crew of the Fiona and basically sent them on their way, heading up towards Basriel. And you prepared for the journey to Tael Noro, and we're about to head off. And we actually were going to pick back up prior to actually leaving, because it was said that perhaps whoever else might be joining us, and the only person who wasn't here was Xander. Whether or not Xander wanted to do anything, wrap anything up in Anaria's watch before actually leaving.
Really quick, can someone please send me the Foundry link? For whatever reason, I don't have it. Probably just haven't signed in since I restarted my computer.
It's in the general chat.
Got it. One sec. Things to wrap up at Anaria's watch. I mean, he would have wanted to have been a part of just like the development of the like puddle jumper energy renewal process. Otherwise, I mean, I feel pretty confident in that we picked that place clean, all things considered. So I don't really think there's anything else I would have wanted to do.
Okay, so Xander was present for that, and it was part of the narration that you helped Leora, whatever her name is, in the process of attaching the solar panels to the top of the jumper. You learned that there is a hatch on the top of the jumper, and the solar panels were kind of integrated into that and can kind of be like almost like a hatch for a submarine or something, where it can kind of be undone and then pushed outwards. So it's not just the back hatchway, but there's one on the top as well. Xander did have a something to do with the installation of those and how effective they were. There was a roll that was made to see how effective the installation was going to be, and therefore how much they generate. And it came about. Jason, was Xander or you? Were you keeping track of the puddle jumper and its fuel usage? Were you going to do that, or was that somebody else?
I don't remember, but I can. I think I did. Whoa, this is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I did not.
You get found out. Weren't expecting
I was not
the
expecting
motion sickness.
the motion on my screen.
I learned only recently how to do animated backgrounds, which means I can now do animated battle maps, which is pretty cool.
Let me scroll down to the bottom of my notes. Oh no. So as it turns out, I hadn't saved my notes since 2023. They've just been open on my computer.
Do you have an autosave feature?
I use the notepad app.
What?
I don't
lost
know.
a year and a half of notes?
That's like 2 years. Almost.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, the last
like
note I
giving
have
the
is from
benefit of the
October
doubt.
12th, 2023. It says owner of the estate's name is Joran Kor.
Wait, what?
Wow.
That wasn't 2023, was
That
it?
was not 20. There's no
That was
way.
2024. Joram Core was Sayor.
Yeah, that's the vampire.
Yeah.
Which you did
That was
before
not
we got.
2024. We
Yeah.
did that
Yeah.
before they got there.
Yep.
That was 2023.
Jay and I joined beginning of 2024. Because I never met a vampire.
That was like the last thing Torvald did with us then.
Tormund?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, I can start keeping track of it now.
Well,
That's devastating.
based on that track record, I'm not entirely certain that you should be the one that keeps track of.
No, I mean it's just because I reformatted my hard drive recently, but like I would close out of Notepad and relaunch it the following time we got on next week, and it was fine. It just
Do you know what's worse than losing 2 years worth of session notes from a player's perspective? Losing session 69.
yeah.
That's
No,
that's one of that's
yeah,
like one of the
they're
worst
pretty. Yeah.
things I've ever done with regards to TTRPGs. Might be the worst thing I've ever done. Yeah. Anyways, getting back to playing the game. So for your notes, the Puddle Jumper has a maximum fuel capacity of 200 solium. You have 2 additional canisters on board the ship, which each hold 100 solium, so that's an additional 200. But that doesn't mean that the full capacity of the Puddle Jumper is 400. It's still 200, which is an extra 200 in reserves, because those extra 200 are like a backup. They can't be recharged by the solar panels. Only those initial 200 capacity can be charged by it.
Okay.
One solium equals 1 mile of travel. Let's see here.
We
The
did make sure
pedal-
also from the whole hoses and stuff, we did make sure to make an apparatus so we can transfer the solium
Right.
without
pouring
any
it.
spillage.
Basically, it can be plugged in essentially and kind of recharged. Yeah, it'll just go from those temporary canisters into the main capacity of the jumper. The Puddle Jumper can travel approximately 10 miles per hour, so that just to make it easier on the world map for travel and how long approximately it takes to get to places. And then while stationary and off, assuming the solar panels are undamaged, they recover 30 solium per day. And I actually had thought about this. I'm like, well, how long is a day? Meaning, like, for charging purposes, right? Because they're not going to charge at night. They're not moon panels. They're sun panels, solar panels.
12 hours.
Yeah, I actually do think that 12 hours is a good number, a fair number. And so if it was like, do we have to sit and wait a full 12 hours for it to charge 30 solium, or can we break that down per hour and just be like, we sit for this many hours and gain this much back, right? So I actually didn't do that math, which is going to be not a full number. 30 divided by 12 is 2.5 per hour. So Jason is avidly writing all this stuff down.
I have.
And that's that. So you're at full capacity of 200 plus 200. It's 180 miles direct flight from AW to Tael Noro. And it was mentioned last session that you would likely take at least one stop somewhere, if not more than one. Just to kind of camp out. I mean, and I had said that theoretically you could do the full 18 hours. You have the fuel for it. Fly through the night. You could do it however you want to do it. So the beginning of this, if we weren't going to be doing anything in an Areas Watch, I was going to ask the group, let's plan this so we can kind of have that solidified. Yeah. So having wrapped up everything in an Areas Watch, you finally all get inside the Puddle Jumper. It lifts up off the ground, and you get one last good look at the God Shard and the room. And Veriloth kind of stands on the edge of not the edge of the radius, but like on the edge of the cave, kind of looking out over the ocean as you guys fly off, and just kind of gives a lazy wave. Not that you can see him because you can't see behind you. There's no
Tim,
windows. Yeah.
Just a point of clarification. How many miles is a hex?
I think it's 20.
20? Okay.
Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, because if we drag from here to Tael Noro, it's 180 miles. Yep.
A hex is 20 miles, so we can theoretically travel a hex per day and always be in the positive if we needed to. So that's good.
But that's how far you'd be traveling on foot, anyways. Right, 1 hex per day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could like fly at night, charge during the day, and take your long rest during the day if you wanted to.
Night owls.
So
Yeah. One other note. Part of the process was deciding whether we wanted to be fixated to the roof and more efficient, or less efficient and be deployable as a separate unit, so we could like roll it up and keep it safer, kind of thing. But we went with fixed attachment and more efficient because we're going to be careful with the puddle jumper anyways. So being careful with having solar panels as well made sense.
I think that's fine.
Cool. And we did take a little extra time to make sure the hatch didn't get obstructed by the panels.
right. So yeah, that's actually a really good point, seeing as Xander's the one who's technically flying with B2 and as a co-pilot. So permanently affixed can be damaged, so keeping that in mind as you're flying it. I believe it does have an associated AC and HP pool, which I have somewhere, but that's not something you need to manage. That's something that I would manage.
Cool. Dude, I am gobsmacked that I lost 2 years worth of notes. I think this is the worst I've felt in a long time.
Yep. Oh, I know the feeling. As soon as I went and looked for episode 69 and it was not there, and I spent like over an hour seeing if I was just wrong, and I was not.
That's what I'm doing right now. I'm going through my file explorer. I'm like, maybe it's on my C drive. Maybe it's...
So you just never shut your computer off?
No, I did. I don't know what it was about Notepad, but it always came up.
Why Notepad? No one uses Notepad.
That was easy.
That is currently what I'm using.
Eric, that's enough.
All of my notes in Notepad.
I pay for a thing called the Goblin's Notebook.
But I just whenever I opened it, it always had my most recent page of notes, and so I was like, I guess it's auto-saving, and now I guess it hasn't. So
I was using Microsoft Word for the longest time, and then I felt really bad about myself, and then having to sift through all of my documents, because as much as I joke about not having any notes, I definitely have some notes. And then I did a lot of research over the course of like 2 weeks, and I tried out several programs of migrating all of my content over to it, and I eventually settled on OneNote, Microsoft OneNote.
Yeah,
it's very, very easy to navigate, and yeah, you can just Anyways, let's leave Anaria's Watch, and let's get out on the road. And so
you should guys take notes.
Flying.
We did warn them about the chainless coming as well.
Yeah, someone tipped the chainless off, so the chainless are coming.
Right.
We set up some traps and practice some commander moves.
So like that whole army of chainless is basically heading towards Anaria's Watch. So the outcasts, which technically outnumber the amount of chainless that are coming, there's going to be a scuffle at some point, and at some point I'll be asking all of you guys, not this session, obviously, to be rolling for some attrition for when that battle does take place. Flying out over the ocean, seeing the Radalath Isles disappear behind you, and the wild blue yonder ahead of you. And after not too long, like what is that? 2 hours of travel, you see land again on the other side. Actually, probably even before that. My main question for you is, at least for the first leg of this journey, do you think that you'd be flying down closer to the water, or would you be like pretty like high up in the sky?
I feel like we'd probably go closer to the water, and then once we broke land and there are like trees and stuff, we'd go over the tree line.
But that's still pretty low, though, right? So, like, just above the tree line would be still fairly... You're not, like, hundreds of feet in the air.
I don't think so. I mean, that's using fuel to get up that high, too.
Go at a diagonal.
But, I mean, if it's negligible, then I would just go high anyway, then.
Yeah, I would... In this instance, I would say it's negligible.
Okay. So yeah, let's go high. Why not, right?
I like how I saw all three of us just go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, probably higher. We want to not be
Shot down?
conspicuous and seen by ships. Yeah, shot down, shot at, looked at.
Yeah, so there's that initial
Perceived.
Do not
ascent
Do not perceive.
to the point where, I don't think any of you have ever been, or most people that you've ever met or know in your life have ever been this high up in the sky before. So it's pretty like breathtaking, awe-inspiring, whatever words you would associate.
It would probably be, as we're leaving, it'd be a, hey Xander, how high can this thing go? Kind of question, and then let's find out.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're both kind of learning that kind of thing together. I mean, Tim, what do I know about the atmosphere of our world?
That's actually a very valid question that I actually have a
After
prepared
that,
answer for.
Can we talk about the tectonic plates as well?
No, dude, I already brought up the tectonic plates real early on, okay? And Tim was like, it's a fantasy game.
Yeah, I did.
You're on
I
one.
remember.
You're on one giant.
Well, also the entire, all the topography of everything's been thrown off because of the calamities. So
Yeah.
nothing,
The atmosphere has been thrown off.
nothing lines up. But go ahead and make I'll say make a history or an Arcana check.
the
I
same
wonder
roll,
which one
champ.
he's gonna pick.
It's the same roll.
Okay, well, but you tell me which one you're picking.
Science check.
History.
History.
Science.
Okay. Oh, look, a 31. So what you would have read about, apart from like normal atmospheric things, as would be found in some certain science books, and you were living in a place where that information would be relatively available to you. Keeping in mind that a lot of history books specifically were lost to time because of the calamities, and a lot of information was either purposefully lost or otherwise. You do know that there are events that happen that are not visible from the ground, or if they are, by people who are literally studying the sky. There are like arcane, I don't want to call them solar events because it's not necessarily related to the sun, but call them arcane weather events that just transpire up above. Also, you have read of things that went too high up into the sky, whether it be a dragon, whether it be somebody
Icarus.
who was flying, something of some sort, that things occasionally get stuck in the sky.
That's not concerning at all.
And there is no explanation as to that phenomenon, but it has always
So,
happened.
like, stuck, like, I mean, obviously I'm reading this from, like, a historical textbook. Like, stuck permanently, or it's just, like, as if you could observe an airplane being stuck in a location for a second, like, for, like, 5 minutes, and then it continues to move.
There have been reports of things going up into the sky, people or things, and never returning. And also, like one singular report of a dragon somewhere maybe even still there to this day, permanently frozen in space up in the sky.
No,
That's
Back
if you go too high. Sorry, Chris.
no, you're good. Back in my time, I remember hearing that if you go up in the sky, only 1/5 of a person ever makes it down to the ground.
Yes, the
1/5
the
of
tragedy of Elon Musk. Yes.
individual person, or like 1 out of every 5 people.
Yes.
I'm concerned. I don't know.
Now, Tim, I hate to do this to you. At what height does breathable air stop?
I will say that there is
You know what? Let me ask you a better question. Is the puddle jumper capable of going that high? Is there like a limit before it starts getting rickety?
I guess you'd have to test that if you're asking specifically in relation to the puddle jumper. Having examined it and rolled some stupid high number on Arcana to do your investigation on the puddle jumper, you would make the assumption that it probably could not only exist in the atmosphere but beyond the atmosphere as well.
That's ridiculous. Okay. Okay.
All right. So the ship can go that high, but we probably don't want to.
Yeah.
Right.
If we do, we'll probably have a limited supply of oxygen too. So.
Well, yeah.
And it's not just to clarify. Just in case.
Yeah, some of us are fine with that.
I require oxygen.
It's what keeps that hair flowing.
No, that's my inner spirit, which can never be doused.
Right. Well, if there's a chance things could go real bad, let's
Except for
not
a lack
take
of
too
oxygen.
high then.
Why would we go that high anyway?
Not necessarily that we need to, just kind of out of sick curiosity.
So, okay. Curiosity killed many creatures. I don't know if you've ever heard that.
Including
saying.
the cat. Yes.
I don't know what a cat is, but I imagine it would also die of curiosity.
A good friend of mine has one named Frumpkin. You'd love him.
Thinking, rationally, conventional weapons can reach about how high? Like a couple hundred
feet, probably.
Feet. Why do we need to go past that? Like, I don't know. I've been around.
That would be insane. I think.
Yeah, it's more about the vision aspect of it than getting hit.
But if they see us, then what? Like, how often have you seen puddle jumpers?
I'm not gonna lie, this is my first time.
This is my first time.
And like, unless we're gonna fly across a lot of open terrain where I don't know why the chainless would be in the woods as we fly towards the most beautiful city on Earth or on this planet.
Well, I mean, why not? From what we understand, there's a chainless base in the Genesis caldera,
right,
and
but we know where that is.
Right, but I mean, they're also in the general area of Mount Solitude. Like, why not?
Well, are we going near Mount Solitude?
I mean, we have to be within a handful of miles of it in order to get to Tael Noro for a straight shot.
A handful of miles? I don't think that's accurate.
We could probably give it a bit more of a berth.
I mean, yeah, we can give it a bit more of a berth if we want.
Like, if we're going straight from here, then we're like...
It's like a 40-mile...
Oh, that's a handful? How many fingers do you have?
I mean, enough to carry 40 miles.
I think it's less about how many fingers and how big the size of the hands are.
Oh, I guess that's fair.
It's just more about the distance that they might be covering. We don't know anything about their operation.
What's the farthest you know of how someone can see? Why are they looking in this direction anyway?
It's not about that. It's about if they're scouting or moving towards another base. Maybe they're developing a base somewhere else. We don't know anything about what's actually going on. We just know the information that's been given to us.
You're living in fear of the unknown. It's so unhealthy, Xander. You really need to let go of these barriers that society has put on you.
Blackstar, wasn't it you who mentioned that there's been in recent years been talk of giants in the forest to the west?
And what about those spiked gloves?
Tael Noro being all riled up. Maybe who knows if whatever chainless are doing something there, and that's why they're riled up.
The chainless gonna
they could be everywhere.
giants?
I mean, they've
Oh,
been
what if
taking
the
over
chainless
towns.
challenge giants?
What if the
Oh,
chainless employed giants?
we should be careful as we fly across. We should probably get fairly high.
If you also think about it, there's like a tactical advantage of being higher because it takes them longer. If they have a puddle jumper, it will take them longer to get to our
I
altitude.
don't know why we're talking about this. Why don't we just fly as high as we can in that direction?
Yeah.
Well, see,
yeah.
that was the thing that
Yeah,
Xander was bringing up with
Only
the,
someone
the
suggested that.
that was the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Who would have thought?
Garen, what do you think about this?
Yeah.
He's been awful quiet. I'm concerned about his, terrible town and what might be happening there.
Hmm.
All right.
We're gonna take flight. I'll say. I mean, I know that our atmosphere in the real world is pretty big, so I'm gonna go with 500 feet up in the air.
Only
I was
500
gonna say
feet.
like a mile up. Just
You
I
think
was
a
thinking, like,
mile? You want
3
to go a
miles.
mile? Really? I mean,
yeah.
okay. I mean, in the real world, we've got like 4 or 5 miles until breathable
until
air is gone.
yeah, that's
So,
fair.
I mean, I was just thinking about like we're way out of reach of anything, and we're still kind of like we're not a blip in the sky, but like if we're moving at a decent pace, we'll
To
be
500
fine.
feet's
counterpoint,
not that high.
though, Garen can see how far clearly.
A mile.
A mile.
Mile.
He's not the only one with abilities like that. I'm sure of it.
Would we? I mean, we
that's
could
a good
go.
A
We could
mile
go.
and 1 foot.
Yeah.
Completely out of
Perfect.
vision of everyone.
Perfect. And then we only have to worry about, ancient Chinese secrets like scrying or whatever.
Ancient Chinese.
You do have a gauge inside of the puddle jumper. It's one of the things on the display. So Xander would be able to
Okay.
pretty accurately bring you to exactly.
Is the gauge in miles?
Sure.
Is this
Or is it
cabin
in kilometers?
pressurized?
Is it in some
It's
other?
definitely not in kilometers.
I love kilometers. They're so
Yep.
much more fun.
It's in bananas, actually.
Oh, that's a perfect scale.
That
Mm.
makes
How many
more sense.
How many bald eagles high is that?
So there's a lot of freedom involved in how high we can go at that point.
It is very freeing to be able to fly in the sky.
I say a mile and a half. Mile and a half.
Sure.
Yeah, something
we'll go a
like
mile
that.
and a half. Xander says as he goes and opens the back hatch and says, "Hold on, guys, I gotta pee."
Oh my gosh.
Is this cabin pressurized? Have we figured that out? Like, if we close it and we fly up, is the air recycled? Like, we have a limited amount of time to breathe inside? Like, because I mean, I know it's still breathable air that high, but I've heard stories that mountain people are hardier because their body adapts to the lower, like oxygen molecules available because the space is wider. They don't travel as freely. So higher altitudes gets more difficult. Am I going to I'm not used to that. I'm a ground-based being.
Molecules. What you talking about?
Yeah, I read about it in a book once. So, J Molecule, he named these things after himself.
Well, that
All right.
kind of seems pretentious.
I mean, he wrote books. I'm sure he was pretentious.
Is that Jimmy Molecule?
Jimmy Molecule, yes. He used to go by Jimmy Neutron, but then copyright infringement, he had to change it.
Yeah.
Are we
That's
gonna
how they
actually?
get you.
Are we gonna actually play
Copies.
some Dungeons and Dragons tonight? We're just
I
gonna...
thought we were.
That's what we're
playing
doing.
Dungeons
Okay.
and
This is
Dragons.
what
like-
we're doing.
This sounds like our normal D&D.
Yeah, it sure
Normal-
does.
yeah.
Normal Black Star conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Uh huh.
But no, I mean, I worry about, if we get higher, mountains. I don't know. Things get weird up. Things get stuck. Xander just said. Like, is it because there's nothing supporting them? We go so high we get stuck. I don't know. We can't move through. I say we just make sure we can't be seen. We'll go a mile and a foot, and then we'll be safe.
Yeah, something like that, reasonably high.
Yeah, and then I mean, for the first part, my headphones died. For the first part of it, I mean, we're over the water for the most part anyway, so it's not like anyone's gonna be there to see us.
True.
Yeah.
True.
I
All
don't think,
right, so that was a long-winded discussion on how high we're going.
I don't know why we talked about it that long.
I mean, we got hours of travel. We got plenty of time to talk.
No,
So I think we ain't in no rush. Speaking of Tael Noro, you know the area, and I think you have an idea of how much other people might know the area. Any ideas on where we might be able to put this thing so it can be hidden outside town?
would yeah, certainly not inside of town. That's a terrible.
Yeah, it's asking for it to get stolen at
Yeah,
that point.
kind of seems self-explanatory.
To the west is giant, so unless we spoke with them and got their approval, I don't think that would be that safe. So I don't
I
know.
mean,
Uh,
maybe
I
the
don't-
giants are a deterrent to anybody from Tael Noro coming to check it out.
It might also be a deterrent to us getting in and out safely. I don't ha let me think a minute. Do I recall how friendly or like the supposed friendliness levels of these giants were?
I don't need to ask you to roll for this. They are definitely not friendly at all.
They weren't friendly from what I can remember.
Okay. Okay.
You did ask about either last session or the session before that. You guys have already partially had this discussion,
Yeah, we
and
have, yeah.
Blackstar had rolled a history check and remembered an area that was about 30 minutes to an hour walk
That's
from
right.
Tael Noro, up in the mountains. It's not a. It is a traversed spot, but there's like nothing up there. It's kind of like a basin up in the mountains. It's just like basically desert. It's just no like foliage or anything, but it's not used really. And maybe it's like a spot where drug dealers might meet up, something like that. But it's not traversed very frequently, but it is occasionally. So if you do decide to land there, because that's like the closest quote unquote maybe safe spot, maybe you might try to hide it in some way. But it could just hang out and charge the whole time there.
Tim, I don't think I ever asked this. Does a puddle jumper have keys?
So the doors were locked when you initially found it, and what's her name unlocked it. We'll say there's a fob for the.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, so yeah, now I'm significantly less worried. I'm more worried about people stripping our solar panels than I am about them actually taking the puddle jumper.
Yeah.
I mean, what's her name was able to fairly easily unlock the door. So it's got like a. I don't know. I didn't have like an actual mechanism. She had like a device that she used to unlock
Well,
it.
maybe you should.
It doesn't have like a doorknob with a traditional key hole on it, but it
Right.
is a lock that can be deciphered or quote unquote picked. Might have to.
There's only so much we can do about that.
And Lord
refine that a
knows-
little bit.
Lord knows everybody from Tael Noro is a criminal, so.
Correct. And not even Lord knows, although he's very knowledgeable about the things in Tael Noro. But I'm aware, and all of you are aware, based on the rumors spread, mostly by Lord. He's quite the rumor monger, honestly.
And we'll never be royal.
Yep.
Yeah, so you do have puffy clouds up here. Not this high up, as they're higher than you. They're up higher than cloud, but they're
Tim,
more visible.
I would like to, as we're moving, just this is a general note. I would like to keep an eye out for two things: extreme weather events, like storms or whatever that might be passing through, where we have to kind of try and go over or duck under, and also like any of those arcane events that you had mentioned that I had read about.
From your recollection, those events, like the ones that are really dangerous, are definitely much higher up in the sky. than like a mile to a mile and a half. They're definitely like way higher. And as far as like people getting stuck, it's not like if you go too high you will just get stuck. It's just chance thing of happening. It's not something that happens all the time.
even if like there was like fireworks that appeared out of nowhere, like he would freak out. So
Gotcha. So what I will do is for the first leg of this journey, because we're gonna be rolling on a table, which I already kind of went over with some people. But before we do that, I will have you roll a perception check, which will affect if you run into any kind of weather-related situation, how quickly you will be able to react to that situation.
22.
22. Okay.
Nice.
All right. So that's really good.
Roll.
And I'll have that. You guys let me know when you're ready to roll for the first leg of this journey on this table.
Table.
So now you have
Dude,
a lot
you're rolling on a table?
lot of conversation. What kind of table do you have? I know there was a lot of conversation. You guys wanted to like use this entire travel as the unpacking of all the stuff that happened. Doesn't have to happen right away, obviously. But
And discussion of plans of the future variety.
Mhm.
What we're going to do in Tael Noro.
you know what?
We plan to do from Tael Noro.
Let's get this whatever this first thing that's going to be out of the way. Let's just go ahead and do it. So I'm going to ask Eric and Chris to both roll a d10.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Guys, if you roll bad, I'm gonna freak out.
I swear to God, I'm gonna
Right in the middle. Average roll.
Chris. Oh my God.
Doomed.
Who says it's
We're
bad?
doomed.
Unfortunately. And 8 just so happens to be self-destruct on the puddle jumper, and we all take a mile's worth of fall damage.
A
No,
lightning
campaign's over.
bolt. A lightning bolt.
And
Okay.
Lightning
I have a
bolt.
ring of
Lightning bolt. Fireball.
Fireball.
All right, so I'm going to move you to here because we didn't really establish how many stops we're taking, but I'm moving you. So you've traveled for 4 hours at this point. Do we remember?
Tim, we just lost Louise. There's no way that Tael Noro is unharmed.
Woof.
Oh wow.
Wow. That was. Yeah. Also, I know I wasn't here.
Barely injured. That's an insult. That's an insult.
I know I wasn't here. What's happening to Fiona? Did we just send them home?
On our way back from Sayor, or no, on the way to Sayor, we told them to meet us down at the Neria's Watch. So when we got back to Neria's Watch, we waited the day, did the solar panel stuff, and then the following day they got there, or whenever it was that they got there, they showed up. We were like, hey, our stuff worked out. We're good to go. We have transport. We don't need to ride with you, so you can take off. Let's get you a few supplies and send you on your way.
Okay.
We said our pleasantries and goodbyes.
And they said that
Okay.
they could not go back to River because of it being taken over by the
Yeah, so
Chainless,
they're
and they couldn't easily
thinking of
get into
going
Tael Noro because they're not
I think
land
they
folk.
said they were probably heading towards Basriel.
I was gonna say that's probably the move.
Yep, they were heading towards Basriel. Yep. Okay. So with your 22, Xander, you do notice. In fact, you know what? Is B2 helping?
Yeah, Darrow is. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Darrow is helping. I'm gonna have Darrow roll a perception check as well. I know this is post rolling, but I just want to see. There's two possible thingies. Oh, never mind. Okay. And so, Xander, as you're kind of just having these conversations, it's been 4 hours now since you've left Anaria's Watch. I believe it was in the morning that you guys had left. So we're going to say it's around noon, so like lunchtime-ish. Maybe 1 o'clock, somewhere between 12 and 1. You see kind of way off on the horizon on your right-hand side, which would be like a southeastern direction. There looks like a gigantic black cloud that is originating from the ground. There's it's almost like a plume of smoke from a campfire that is miles wide. That is just it looks like a solid object at this point because it's not like traveling at any great speed. But it's just encompassing a huge thing, and it is at this point has. By the time you're getting to where it is, it's like intersecting with your path, and it looks like maybe it's smoke, maybe it's a black cloud. It's definitely originating from somewhere out of your ability, from the horizon. You can't even see where it's coming from. That's how big and wide this is. You do see it in time to the point where you could fly above or below it. But it is one of the phenomenons of what might be experienced. You haven't, like we discussed out of game, I haven't done a whole lot of travel, right? So there are lots and lots of weird things that were like magical events that occur because of the calamities that happen. It didn't just raise mountains and cause valleys that weren't there before and cause the Rising Requiem to be buried into a mountain when it wasn't like that when it was constructed. But even to this day, there are just strange things that occur throughout the world, and this is like one of the first wildly out of the ordinary things that you're encountering. But you have more than enough time. It doesn't look necessarily nefarious, but it is a absolutely gargantuan black something in your way. Would you like to fly above or below it?
I guess because we're nearing the forest, and I know that Black Star is aware of the giants that are in this forest.
Not friendly.
I'll ask. I'll just, hey, Black Star, you ever seen something like that? Having lived around here basically your whole life.
Absolutely. All the time. It happens every single day.
Insight check.
Tim, have I seen this ever before in my
It's
life?
okay. I rolled a 9. You'll win anyway.
You have witnessed on one occasion when you were at some point brought to the top of one of these mountains when you were younger, and this is a phenomenon called the Black Line. Because when it's being observed by most people, it appears they're seeing it from so far away that it looks like just a massive black line on the horizon. And you have never been told or really maybe had enough interest to know where it came from or why it's there. But it once every couple of years, this appears, and when it appears, it's there for like a month.
Whoa.
Oh. Yeah, I've seen this before. It's not good.
This is a normal occurrence in your modern world now?
I mean, like abnormal, uncommon, medium, rare.
Yeah. Okay. Should we go over it or under it, or is it detrimental?
We shouldn't go through it.
So
It's going to be there for a while now.
Okay, so we should probably go over it then.
I would think over it. You wouldn't want to
Right.
get closer to the ground.
Well, I've only ever seen it from a certain perspective, and I don't know if it goes higher or comes down lower before it dissipates, or if it just stays where it is and then disappears. Maybe it goes up into the sky. So if we're going over,
Does this look like an actual, just like a straight up black line of like, theoretically, like clouds? Like we don't know what it is. It's obviously a plume of some kind of puffy thing, but
Yeah,
like it's just a
My
straight
guess
line.
is that the sleeping scoria is improperly named. It's not so sleeping.
That's possible. Okay.
It is something, some black material that is wafting through the sky.
Yeah.
You're definitely not close enough, like because of your high roll, you're seeing it well in advance. So you're nowhere near close enough to be able to make any judgment as to what it is.
With it being a big, huge black cloud, essentially, we can tell underneath it is becoming like nighttime, right? Pitch black.
For the time that it is almost touching the ground, the tops of the trees, not like entirely. Maybe it's like a couple 100 feet above the tree line. So yeah, and because it stretches for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles, and then is also probably a good, it's like half of one of these hexes in like depth. So it's like 10 miles wide. Yeah, absolutely. It's blocking out the sun for some of the people that are there.
Yeah. So I think going above would be the better choice.
I think
Yeah.
Eric might be onto something. Tim, what's the state of Hadley and Farrell cells in your wind circulation system of this world?
All right, so you're flying above it.
Yes.
Okay.
That was the correct answer.
All right. So you do eventually get to a point, because we're going to say that it is actually in this hex here somewhere. As you're getting to it, you get close enough, and there are, on your 22 perception, which we'll carry through, there's like little tiny bits of like electricity that's like moving through it. And now seeing it, it is not a cloud. It is, well, it's a cloud of ash, essentially. Yeah. But this is an absolutely ridiculous amount of ash. And it's thick, like super thick. Like you cannot see through it.
This is wind circulation legit. I'm looking at my map right now, and this is legit. We're in the southern hemisphere, and the trade winds are going northwest. This is legit.
That is, of course, with the assumption that this planet rotates in the same direction that the Earth does.
Oh, it could be flat. You're right.
God. Oh my God.
Or it could be flat
Okay.
if it's not round.
You definitely see as the ash is like, it is moving, and it's moving at a fair pace. From a distance, it would look like it's just a solid mass, right? But for like up close, you can see that it is actually making progress. You can't see the other end of it, but you're close enough now where you can see the front part of it that's continuing to move. So this is a relatively recent thing as it's been traveling. And in it, as it's moving and you're passing over it and you're kind of like taking the time because you're only going 10 miles an hour. So you're traveling over it for quite some time. Actually, a whole hour you're traveling over it. There's definitely parts of it that are moving and are making like shapes. You see like almost like animals and like maybe the head of what you thought might be a dragon inside of it, and even some like arcane runes, and like one time you swear you see like a castle inside of it. Just weird, interesting things to where it's like, is something like, am I like losing my mind? Like, no. And then like you could even call over Razier or Blackstar or whoever, and Darrow is obviously sitting in the co-pilot seat looking over as well, and you guys all see these things. They're a little bit hard to pick out at first because they're kind of subtle, but they're definitely there. So either this ash has a mind of its own, or it's being controlled by someone, or something about this has some arcane something related to it.
We should look
Xander's
into.
trying to jot down as much as he can.
We should go and check it out.
I mean, we could go through it if we wanted to.
I don't think anyone's ever done it before, and
Or they have and haven't lived to tell that they've done it.
oh, that's a good.
Also,
The
the panels on the roof are brand new, and that looks pretty volatile to be inside.
Yeah,
so
I was gonna say
I don't know if we want to.
the biggest
do
thing
that
is
right
that
away.
it could be really chaotic in there, and once the ash lands on our windshield, I'm not gonna be able to see.
Yeah, but you can see these structure things. So, like, why couldn't we see when we got in there?
Well, it's that if the ash gets caught on our windshield, there's no guarantee that it would form past the windshield, right? We could have just a layer of ash over the windshield and we won't be able to see anything. And then even if we make it out of the black line, we're not able to see where we're going and we're at great risk of crashing.
I really want to know what's
The ash could get into these things that are called thrusters, and
I
that
would-
could do something.
I would love to go and observe this up closer, but at the same time, I think right now we just don't have the resources.
Hey, we never have the resource. It's always, we can't do this. We don't have time for that. We just got this new thing.
Okay.
Well,
We could tie Razir to a rope, lower him down. He doesn't
That's-
need to breathe.
That's true. That is true.
I gotta be here for a second co-pilot, so it can't be me. So
That's true. I mean, if we stop, I could just float down myself. Because I can do that.
I
Tim,
kind of
what does hovering do to our fuel?
Just the same as flight time.
It's
Or
1
what?
solium per hour.
Okay. I mean, I'm not opposed to that. That sounds kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, how close can we get to it?
How close do you want to
I think
try?
it's more how close we would be to it.
yeah.
Well, I
I
mean, if we
mean,
go,
it's a clear line, right, Tim?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
there's clearly a point in which it stops and which it ends in terms of vertical.
Yeah,
like-
I mean, so the edges, the top edge of it, which is you're above it right now, right, is just kind of wafting upwards. So it's ash that's being dispersed. So there's a sections of it that are less cloudy, like you could kind of go down into that it would be like around you. So it's not like a flat glassy surface of of ash,
Okay.
right? It's still wafting.
I mean, it's up to you all.
You do get the sense that it's not it's wafting, but it's not to the point where it's going to coat the entire ground underneath it with ash, which is what you would assume might happen. It looks like it's traveling.
Oh, so it's definitely inherently magical.
I mean, I think I said that.
No,
Yeah.
you said, yeah, like it was like there's clearly something arcane going on, but I didn't know if it was like contained within this cloud, but like it behaved like regular ash or what. So, but it seems like
Yes.
this ash might be almost like having a mind of its own magically.
Maybe.
What if it's traveling from like the volcano up to Mount Solitude, like it's being harnessed if it's raw magic or something?
Well, I mean, that's possible, but it's going northwest. It's going, I mean, it is going towards Mount Solitude. That's true.
It looks like it's riding the wind as any other ash would, but it looks like it's doing it with purpose.
So something in some way, be it riding the wind, is influencing it. Be it at the root, at the receiving end, because if this is ash, you would see it on the trees after this.
Yeah, something's holding it together, essentially.
I say we take an hour, we send Razir in, he's got a rope, we take a look. Just, you guys are all scientists and experimentalists, so I'm here to
Yeah.
entertain the idea.
did we take a
This
long rest
is-
before all this? By the way,
Yeah, we've
Yeah,
slept.
this is all new day
Okay, sorry.
stuff.
So I'm for it. Let's see what's in there.
I just think it'd be fun, and then if there's castles in there, then they've got castle things that they might not
I
want
mean,
anymore.
Like gold.
If it's real. It might be
Okay.
like a seeing shapes in the clouds kind of situation, but
Yeah.
like more pronounced because of the magic's holding it together or something.
Do you think there's a whole like race or like
City?
people that live in something like this? I mean, like,
Could be. Could be like Cloud City or something.
yeah,
Only one way to find out. Razir,
Bespin.
I'm tying you to a rope.
that's
Yeah. Dude, bring us a bit closer. I can float myself down, and I'll tug on the rope if I need y'all to pull me up faster.
this is so exciting. I didn't think we'd do this. I literally
Aaron,
had
help me hold the rope.
zero
We're two
hope.
strong characters.
Yeah, tie him up. I'll get as close as I can without being like inside of it.
Okay. So how long is your rope, and how close are you parking to this moving miles wide ash thing?
We could tie at least 2 ropes together to get 100 feet, so you could
Yeah.
be a good 50, 60, 70 feet up above this thing, and I'll
Yeah.
slowly make my way in and still be attached to the safety line.
No.
I elbow Xander. Do you think I should drop my weapon down there?
Is it? I mean, is Grignac connected to the sleeping scoria?
I don't know, but he might like to see what. I think he can see things when I
Would
put him in places.
Would you like to ask him?
No, he might wake up.
Oh, just to be clear, Razir never said anything about the sleeping scoria. That was Eric speaking. Razir has no idea about the sleeping scoria, so that didn't get
Yeah,
said out loud.
but you gave Jason an idea, and Xander's smarter than Jason, so he figured it out.
Just wanted to make sure. Yep.
Well, I'll find out. Grignac, and I shake my dagger.
Black Star.
Oh, hey, when I like when I put you places, you experience like some things, right? Like it's not maybe not like crystal clear, but you see the fires I start, and you enjoy that, right?
Are you getting philosophical with me now?
I'm just asking. I'm about to yeet you somewhere.
I don't know the meaning of that word, but I like it, the sound of it.
All right. Well, I just wanted to know, like you have some sort of awareness, right, of things that are happening.
It's like almost like I'm a person.
Okay, I just wanted to double check. Okay, and then I just throw him.
Were you just talking to your sword?
Oh, as you
You haven't seen this before?
as you throw
Daryl
the
has
sword,
it.
I'm just imagining. Oh no! It just disappears. If it's isn't it? If it gets a certain distance away from you, it like automatically poofs or something, or it.
Yeah, it's like a certain amount of time.
I think it's a
also-
minute
Yeah, I think it's
actually.
like
Yeah, it's a minute. I'm checking real quick.
You just threw a perfectly good weapon.
Yeah, it's all right though. He'll be back.
Okay, about a minute.
If it's away from me for more than 5 feet for 1 minute, it'll disappear.
Okay, more than 5 feet for more than a minute. Okay, so a minute goes by, and then it poofs back into your hand.
Yeah, I caught.
Like,
Yeah, once
Just
I'm just
before
holding
it
it ready.
poofs into your hand, you hear poof, and then it poofs into your hand, like it's like coming from far away.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Oh, good, you caught me. How did you do that?
I mean,
Wait, where are we? How did we get back on the ship?
Greg, we've done this before. I put you places, and you always come back. You know this.
Okay.
Swear, when I wake you up, so
Okay.
how was it?
It was really trippy. There's got some weird stuff going on down there. I couldn't really see after like I went past the weird tickle powder, but once I once I kind of broke through there, it's like really colorful and really loud.
Loud.
But apart from that, I only saw about like 3 seconds, and that was it. So here I am back. I thought you were with me the whole time. I was talking to you the whole time, just but I guess that's not how it works.
No,
Did you say it was loud? Black Star?
yeah, yes, yeah. I forget you can hear half of this conversation. He said it was really colorful, and loud
Colorful and loud.
for about 3 seconds, and then he was here.
But
So we have to be lower?
Yes, Grignac.
I'm not like a good judge of like distance and everything, but like it's probably at least like 40 miles, before you get into there. It might have been 10 feet. I'm not sure, but anyways, it's quite a while ways before you kind of break the tickle powder. So
Okay. When you say tickle powder, do you mean like it would have not been as ticklish to me and more painful, or like you felt something going through it?
well, I mean, it can light on fire, and didn't seem
I
to
looked
like
down
didn't
if
seem
there's
to
any
like that too
fiery
much.
parts.
Oh, like where he went through? Yeah, I mean, you would have seen like the sword kind of disappear, like get further and further away to the point where it became more and more and more dense, and then he was just gone. But where he went in, there's definitely like a little like red or orange section. But it quickly, very, very quickly dispersed and was gone. But you saw for like a split second there was a spot where he was purposefully flame on sword going down through this ash cloud.
Human Torch.
Flame on.
Rignac torch.
Can I go back to sleep now, or like you need me to?
No. I appreciate your help. Yeah, we're going to Tael Noro, just so you're aware. Also, I don't know.
I thought we had a deal. I thought we were going to an Iron V.
We're going to get there, but that's a very heavily guarded. And if I just perish trying to do that right away, then it doesn't help. We're going to weaken them more, so we can effectively rescue your friend.
Well, from everything I've heard, I think the Red King might be able with the, because remember that Tormund guy who was around for like a couple hours, yeah. So yeah, with him and then the Red King and everything, I'm not sure that we have a whole lot of time, so we might want to prepare ourselves for the worst.
Well, I'll look into some things to free him at the very least. In town, we're not going to outright destroy him. I promise you that, and we will rescue him to the best of my ability.
Because if you end up having to destroy him, it might destroy me too.
What?
We'll talk about it later. Good
Okay.
night. Okay. What's everybody else doing?
Get the rope tied.
Yeah.
Me and-
dropping Razier and kind of being like, man, I hope this kind of sucks as an experience for him, so it's retribution.
As I'm tying the rope, I'm like, so Blackstar, your sword, what do you have anything to say about the experience?
Yeah, he said it was really loud and colorful inside.
All right.
He also called it
Take a
tickle
look.
powder.
Tickle.
Tickle powder.
Is what he said.
I'll
Those
go
are his-
slow
Those
then.
were his primordial words.
Yeah, I'll go slow.
I would. I think I don't know. You might put something like wood. Do you have any like wood or like anything that can be destroyed on you right now?
I might have a couple pieces of wood I've been whittling, but yeah,
it's
I
like
got
when
something.
when you stick when you put a stick into water to see how deep it is,
Yeah,
or like if it'll burn you to death when you're gonna get in it.
yeah, I got a couple, so I'll grab those before I go down.
I wouldn't put your foot in first, you know?
Yeah. Before we do this, can we take a break? Because I gotta check on the crock pot as well.
Yeah, so as you're beginning this process, Razier's all tied up and gathering his stuff, and you're just being going to be slowly lowered down. Is that what the goal is here?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Depending on, I'm gonna jump out and then do levitation as
Gotcha.
As a-
With a rope tied to you. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oops, there for safety pull up. I'm gonna just slowly control my levitation, float down.
Yep. Okay. So as we begin that process, that is where we will go ahead and take our break. So, jumping back in, Razier takes a leap of faith. You're just kind of stepping off the back of the puddle jumper, rope affixed. How many feet of
Yeah.
rope do you actually have?
About 100.
Two tied together, so 100-ish.
Okay. So yeah, we'll call it 100. All right. And how far above the cloud are you?
We were talking about hovering, what, like 40, 50 feet? Yeah?
Yeah, something like that.
So even at that distance, the bits that are kind of wafting off the top of this are touching the bottom of the puddle jumper. Nothing's like, it's not like sticking to it or anything, it's not like snow. But like as the gate opens up and you're coming out, it's like across the front of it, and you go to step off and a little tiny piece of the ash touches the side of your cheek, Razier, and just gives you almost like a tiny little static shock, just a small one. Kind of giving you an idea of what you might be facing if you go into the thick of it, which is what you're doing. And you can control your levitation vertically, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So you step off the edge and start to go down, and more of it within a really short period of time, because you're just kind of descending with the rope attached. There's like zzz, 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 zzz. It's kind of hitting you a bit. It's not like painful, but it's just kind of like okay, yep, all right, here we go. And then you're like, your feet touch the top of this, and it just like separates. It's like ash, and it's like flowing around your feet, and then you just descend into it.
Okay.
Okay. What were you gonna say that you did before that?
I was going to take it slow. Yeah, I was going to stop and turn upside down and like pull out some things to see if it's like hot, to like if it's going to try and catch anything on fire, or even just like stick it in so I can leave it there for a second and pull it out and see if it's like hot to the touch, like if it's check that first.
Okay, so you do that, and whatever thing it is that you're sticking into there comes out, and crossbow bolt comes out. It's a little warm. It's not hot at all. It's not singed in any way. There's no burn marks or electrical marks. Like I said, it's just like a bit of static electricity, but it does make a like bug zapper noise, only like times 100. As you stick it in there.
All right. Well, if hearing all that, I'm gonna much more slowly just kind of like touch with my fingers.
It feels like
see if it
moving
zaps me.
like large. If there was larger pieces of sand, which I guess are just rocks, it's not like that at all. It's like it moves through. It's a soft material, and there definitely is like your hand starts to go numb a little bit, not to where you're gonna like lose feeling entirely, but it's just like as your hand goes into it, and you feel. So just to kind of expedite a tiny bit, if you were in this for a period of time, you would take a little bit of damage.
Okay.
Not
I'm gonna go
for you, not harrowing, but
I'm gonna go in horizontal Mission Impossible style.
Heck yeah.
okay. Face
Go
for,
in
just,
10
just
feet.
face down.
Yeah, because I can move. Levitate lets me move 20 feet in a round, up to 20 feet in a round.
Okay. So mechanically, you
So
will
I'm
take
going like 10 feet down.
you'll take one damage per round.
Okay. As soon as it actually hurts me, it's like, okay, time to leave. I'm not going to sit
Okay.
here in this.
So 6 seconds, you
microwave
descending,
myself.
and then it's like, okay, yep, all right, time to go up, and then you just
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
You didn't
and then-
even in 6 seconds you didn't get far enough down, and just judging by the viscosity, if that's a word I can use with something that's not a liquid, in this,
How dense it is.
how dense it is, your additional 50 feet of rope's not going to get you past whatever this is for Wickrig Neck.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay. Back up to
trying not to
ship
drag
then.
this out.
Yeah, no, that's fine. All right. So I see what your sword meant by tickly powder. It's electrically charged down there. It's like when you rub your feet on a carpet and then you zap something, but like the whole air. It was enough to like hurt. So I didn't spend much time in there, and I didn't get very far down, but for however far that sword fell, it's quite a ways down to get past this outer shell of wherever it is, if there is an inside.
As Razier is saying this, and you're looking out of the back opening of the puddle jumper, you see forming out of the ash a giant mug of ale. including like the froth coming out of the top of it and pouring down into the rest of the ash as it's moving forward. And this is appearing further down from where it's originating from, and it is slowly traveling towards you, and it is like probably 8 or 10 times the size of the puddle jumper. It's sticking out of the top of this cloud or horizontal pillar of ash as it's moving along, to the point where it will collide with the puddle jumper in a couple rounds.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna move us forward.
Okay, move forward. Yep.
As I move us forward, I also want to turn, and I mean, it seems like what Razir was describing is static electricity. I want to go and just reach my finger out and see if there's any kind of travel or ground between Razir and myself. Like if there's any stored potential energy.
Am I built up with static?
Yeah.
To where I shock him when we touch?
Yeah, you go out and you reach out to Razir, and there's like a tiny little that goes to you, and then it's gone.
Okay.
It's not significant in any way. It's just, it's there.
Weird.
Hey, Darrow, come here real quick. I'm trying to him as well.
You go out to Darrow, and you know you've already released it with Xander, so
yeah.
Shut it
right,
down.
Right. Well, I don't know how well this jumper of ours will take zaps like that, but I don't know if we want to explore this anymore.
Maybe it would supercharge the panels.
Or fry them.
Yep.
I
Also-
don't know how well Solium would handle being shot.
Might be reactive. I think we're unequipped to explore this any further, unless somebody's got some sort of magic situation.
Not really. You know what? Before we pull up the hatch that we had dropped Razir from, is the ale still traveling towards us as it's moving forward?
Yeah, it's at the point right now where it's directly behind where the back hatch is, so it's encompassing all of your vision at that point.
I would like to shoot a ray of frost into it, just see what happens to the arcane like potential.
Okay. Yeah, so you shoot your ray of frost out, and it completely dissipates. So what is ray of frost is just a line of frost.
Yeah,
right?
it's just a ray. Yeah.
Okay, so through it, through the center of this giant mug of ale, freezing all the ash around it, and it like blows a lot of it away. It almost completely eradicates the entire mug of ale. Like a lot of the ash is just lost, and displaced from the main portion of this. Yeah, part of it's frozen, and it just reacts as any raw material would, and kind of continues moving, and you've collapsed the thing in front of you. You swear you hear a disgruntled, deep guttural sigh of dismay from within this huge thing of ash, somewhere far below you.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna speed us up and get us out of there. Didn't like that.
The giant cloud just got angry. Time to move on.
Not really angry, just like, ugh.
Yeah, that's close enough.
Oh, you're just being annoying now.
That's normal during this time? Or
Yeah, look to Black Star.
I would assume not. Black Star only said he saw it.
I've
every
never
so
been
often.
inside of it.
Yeah.
I guess I don't mean with this event. I just mean with this chaos of this event.
I don't. I have no idea. I'm not sure that anybody has any idea.
I mean,
All right.
stuff happens, yeah. Ever since the Titans and the Calamities, stuff's been going wacky all around. But I mean, For all of us, that's normal these days.
feel
The
like
only reason we know about it is because some of the history books.
I feel like I've missed so much.
Some of
Yeah,
the
I think the world kind of ended, and you missed it.
Yeah, sounds like.
about 200 feet off in the ash, like past where the mug was, a bit of it begins to be disturbed and kind of like bubbles upwards a little bit and like gets displaced. And it's probably your distance you're at right now. It's probably the area of maybe like 20 feet across or so, like a kind of like a little hole opens up about 20 feet across, and you see a completely translucent, like almost ethereal, like no coloration to it, just like white like outline of a head comes up from it, and like it's just like starts looking around. It pokes up facing away from you. It is from like this distance, you're like, wow, what is that? Like it's just an outline of something, right? Like almost like ghostly in nature to where you can't really tell. But what you can see is that there are like big horns coming out from the back of it, and a bit of like spikes going down the back as well. And then as it turns to the right, hasn't seen you at all. There's a big snout with nostrils on the end of it, and it like turns around and it turns and then just like locks eyes as the back gate of the puddle jumper. I'm assuming you were raising it because you were about to take off, right?
Yeah.
Is coming up. It like turns and like you see eyes like burning white coals in this thing's head. The head is probably about the size of the puddle jumper, and like turns and like looks directly at you, squints its eyes, and you see little tiny tendrils of white kind of smoke coming up from it. But it almost looks like a stencil drawing, which is really disconcerting, almost like it's not real. It looks at you, and as you like oh okay, we start like moving off.
Xander?
Yeah, exactly right. The thing comes up. You hear like a sound from behind you of like a whistling wind as you take off, and the entire puddle jumper is all of a sudden engulfed in like a cartoon cloud. That's the only way I can describe it.
It's like this animated.
It looks animated. Yeah, just like the head was like almost like it was drawn.
Like the comic book decal in Rocket League.
Exactly. And it's like these white like puffy clouds that just, and they're almost like not jittery, but like you can tell that they're not really there. The puddle jumper is not affected. Like
Spider-Verse.
They're lower FPS than everything else.
Yes, a little bit, And the puddle jumper does not seem to be affected at all, like not in any way. But like it totally envelops it, and then kind of disperses out in front of you, and then after like a second or two, it's just gone. You hear that same like sigh of somebody being discontented with something, and you continue flying. You have probably another 30 minutes before you clear this ash to continue on your way. But unless you stop again, you are undisturbed.
Well, that was weird.
Very.
Xander's like not happy to not be able to. This is unlike anything that has ever been described in any books you've ever read.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, he's jotting down as much as he can.
It looked like the head of a dragon, but totally not of this world.
Well,
I think
that
he
was
said his name was
weird.
Puff.
Puff Daddy.
No, he wasn't here for last session. Puff the magic dragon. Mm-hmm.
Puff the magic Dargan.
Organs.
Okay. You guys going to discuss what just happened, or you just keep going and you're like, all right, well, that was an event.
So,
I mean, how do you even unpack that?
Yeah, that's the kind of thing where y'all just kind of sit in silence for a minute and like occasionally look at each other like we all saw that. That was odd, to put it lightly.
Blackstar, that wasn't one of your tricks, right?
no, this one wasn't me this time. That's
Tim, is there any way that I would be able to tell if the sigh of discontentment was out of like despair or frustration? Like, because discontentment can come from a variety of different feelings. Like, so is there any way that, like, is it possible for me to tell if the discontentment comes from, like, oh man, I wasn't able to catch them, or like, oh man, I'm missing friends, you know?
Make an insight check.
Oh darn, Team Rocket blasting
Total
out
24?
again.
24.
There we
Wow.
go.
On a 24, you feel like the first sigh of discontentment came from a place of frustration, and the second sigh of discontentment was, oh man, I just lost friends.
Whoa, oh, hold on, guys. Whoa. No, hold on, we gotta go back.
Don't though, because friends to that thing might be like playthings that'll swat around and
Fair point.
like a cat.
But it
I
was
was just
so...
I was just using your words, Jason.
Well,
Just
right,
saying.
yeah, no, I know. But it would be so cool if we made
To
friends
die
with
to a
it.
cartoon cloud dragon.
No, we made friends with it.
Maybe. Or something worse.
Something much worse.
Can you speak to a dragon?
No. Actually, yes. I do know Draconic.
Okay. All right.
Not that necessarily that dragons speak Draconic. They dragons of certain ages probably speak far more ancient languages than Xander's able to comprehend. But he is a polyglot. He does speak many language.
Any language. Well, we know it happens again, so we could always come back.
Blackstar, how many times does this happen in a year?
I don't think it's that many. I mean, I've only ever been like up to see it like closer, because this is the closest I've been now, but like closer once in my lifetime. And I think, I mean, I know what it is because I've seen it, but I like never. I don't know, like
It's
not often.
it's once every few years that it happens,
Like
and
once
then
every couple of years.
lasts for about 30 days approximately.
It'll probably be here for like a month if that makes you feel better. They normally last
And-
like.
What happened last time you got closer?
No, I was on a mountain on the ground, so this was still like very far away. I don't remember anything special.
All right. Well,
I was just taking in the beauty of the world. It was, one of the lessons from the greatest mentor ever.
but of course. Well, I guess if nobody else is interested in going back and seeing if this giant smoke dragon will actually thrash us around, then I guess we continue onward, yeah?
Yeah, I think
I
so.
mean, yeah, we should come back though. Like maybe there's someone in town who knows more about it.
I would be very interested in seeking somebody out.
I'm sure if there's this level of morbid curiosity that exists in this realm, that someone has gotten closer or done some form of exploring or research of it.
Maybe that, or the giants kept everybody away from it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you said they ain't friendly, but if we ever get to the point where we have discourse with the giants, maybe they know some more about it. It kind of goes over their territory.
That's a good point. That's actually a really good point. That point being made though, I think they kill us.
Oh yeah, I ain't saying we go ask them now. I'm saying if it ever comes to who knows what circumstances happen where we get to talk to him in a friendly kind of manner. That'd be something to keep in mind
I mean,
to bring up.
So you continue on your way.
Yeah.
And I was looking for somebody to kind of nail down how many times you were going to stop. Do you want to go another 2 hours? You've gone 6 hours now at this point, which brings you to about 2 to 3 p.m. 2, 4, 6.
I feel like I'd want to make it out of the forest before we stop.
Yeah, so another 4
So,
hours
like,
at least.
Yeah, another 4 hours ish, roughly.
Okay.
Maybe 6.
Okay. So this brings us to 2, 4, 6. By the end of this is 8 hours of flight. And so you want to get... You could call it there and try to find, like, just outside of this forest, or you want to go another
Would probably
hour? Go to
Another-
9 hours of travel without stopping?
Yeah,
Or 10? You tell me.
yeah, probably 9 or 10.
Go to 10. Go to 10.
Go for
Yeah,
10?
Get, like,
cool.
really to the outskirts, like here-ish.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be 11 hours.
No, it's yeah, it's one of these two.
people stay up that long all the time.
It's up to you. You can do 2, 4, 6, 8. You can do 9 hours and be here out, and you can be in between forests, and there's like a, open area. That'll put you at, what did I just say? 8 is 4, 5. Be about 5 p.m. Between 5 and 6 p.m. Sun's starting to go down a bit. Gonna be
Yeah, I
missing
think that-
for the night.
I think that's good.
Because the puddle jumper's not going to charge overnight. So
Yeah, it'll have a couple an hour, maybe two, for the rest of this day, and then we could probably let it charge for a bit in the morning if nothing comes to bother us, and then
okay.
do
All
a
right.
few hour trip.
All right, who wants to? So, and I haven't really described the landscape, and I'm not going to go into a huge exposition thing about that, but it is very pretty. Lots of hills, lots of trees, rolling hills, and you've been traveling for so many hours now at this point, cooped up inside of this all together. It's I don't know if anybody needs to use the bathroom, but it's it's a little. Oh no, you were peeing out the back. I forgot about that.
Yes.
I don't know
correct,
about other bodily functions that need to be taken care of. That might get a little more interesting. But anyways, we don't really use the bathroom in D&D, right? So who wants to make a survival check to find a suitable spot to land? No God
I
Chart will help you on these
Survival
rolls.
+7.
We don't have
Uh,
our ranger anymore.
Nope.
Darrow will.
Yep, sounds like I will. Okay, not bad.
21.
20.
It was. I saw that. Okay. So you're kind of looking down at the ground, and you kind of, make sure you take a good 15, 20 minutes as you're continuing to travel to kind of look and use your well-trained eye to look towards the ground. And you're based on how the puddle jumper is designed, you can't see directly underneath you unless the back hatch is open and you're like looking out over and down. So you're basically scanning ahead, and you're like, oh, okay, I see a spot like over there. That looks like a pretty good spot. And there's this is still a pretty hilly area, and you can see the inlet of water, and maybe somewhat somewhere near there might be good. What's your thought, Eric?
The puddle jumper can take off. It can VTOL, right?
Yeah.
Vertically take off. So it has the ability to go this way. So if we just
You just go
tilt the
like
puddle
this
jumper
and go
forward
this
and
way.
then fly like this.
Yes,
like
but it
figure
does
out
not
if
have
we really need to.
inertial dampeners. It does not. So you'd be all like in the cockpit,
Yeah, we'll stand
standing
on
up.
stand on the back of the chairs and stuff.
It does not travel as fast that way. It's designed to like take off and then get its full speed going
Yeah,
forward.
no, we would. it'd be
Anyways.
good, like you were saying.
It's semantics, kind of, not really. So you're kind of looking down, and you pick out. It looks like there's a pretty fair clearing. Actually, you know what? Go ahead and, as the person who's rolling the survival, and 21's pretty good roll, and you're looking down specifically to guide Xander to be landing somewhere, go ahead and give me a perception check.
I will help him look for whatever he's looking for.
No, I don't need it.
Oh.
He sure doesn't.
Okay. All right. Well, that's...
I can see.
Of all the times to roll a natural 20. All right. As you're looking down, absolutely covering the entire area from, like, as far as you can see to the right. I mean, the sun is going down, right? So it's starting to get not dark, but it's casting shadows on things. Far as you can see to the right, far as you can see to the left, from the shore of this little inlet of water all the way to the other side. You're almost like in like not a valley, but a section between the forests that's like miles wide, right? There's stones, like similar looking stones that are sticking up out of the ground in various areas. And around these stones, there's like, it's grass. It's grassland. There's like little bushes and maybe like some of the roots of some of these like bigger bushes and like the occasional tree out and about here. But it's almost like the grass has grown in patterns around all of these stones that are placed for miles. Like it's like looking at a crop circle in a field, but it's everything and everywhere along the entire ground. And the grass, you're like, is that grass like 6 feet tall? You're like, no, that's like regular grass. Okay. But I'm seeing like patterns on the ground, but it's everywhere for miles.
Would this be something to do? I'll of course relay this to the squad. Is this something to do with the giants? Like,
I mean, I have no clue. It could be a cultural thing, which makes me believe we probably shouldn't land here.
yeah, the number one way to maybe anger natives is destroying any sort of cultural identity that.
It's if you were walking on the ground, it would be like virtually impossible to notice that you were walking on patterns. They're that large.
So yeah, carve out giants of like paths or trails or
Could be.
perhaps.
I mean, or it's something unrelated. It
Could be
another-
unrelated.
could be something else, because something that on this scale, we're only seeing it because we're this high up.
True.
Well, it does lend to giants, though. But I don't know.
They're a bit
That's...
tall. Maybe if they like stood at each other's shoulders or something, they might be able to.
What if this
Make
is
it
like a
out.
city they've built?
The grass does
What-
look like it's grown this way, and the bushes that make up all these patterns look like they've just grown that way.
Well, are giants nomadic? Could they, because of like leaving tents in their homes on these buildings, it's kind of influenced the growth?
I think if there were enough giants to do that in this big of an area, Tael Noro would have a bunch more problems, and so would the rest of the basin.
I don't think they'd fit into the buildings we built there, though.
This, I don't know, Xander, if you're catching anything, but this looks more. There's something else going on under here that's influencing this to happen. Not.
Well, which one of us is the nature guy?
That was.
Oh boy.
That would be me.
That was Lou.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Now it's me.
I didn't mean to.
I mean, these are stone. Garen, you got any? You're from the Caldera. You know anything about being a stones guy? You know anything?
I have a plus 13.
Is there something
in
you know
nature.
about?
He just mentions that he's more akin to stones and boulders.
Yeah,
Like the ones
I mean,
that are placed all around
Oh, that's
down there.
I'll see if is there anything like. Is this an arcane phenomenon, or are people placing these?
Oh, the stones.
Yeah.
Where the stones rotted.
This would be a nature
These
check.
babies for miles.
I know you're asking about arcane, but I'm gonna this.
Total 18.
That is not a bad nature.
That's so ridiculous. You can only surmise, even with an 18, that it's not like they're all identical. They definitely don't look placed. They definitely look natural. They look like they look like stalagmites.
Okay.
But growing
Good job,
up out of the
Tim.
ground.
Not everybody knows the difference between a stalagmite and a stalactite. I'm proud of you.
But thank you. And they're not they're not like, they're gray and they're large and they're not
Sure.
necessarily pointed at the top, but that's
Yeah,
the
they're not-
feeling
okay.
you get from them.
It's a
so-
naturally growing. It's just.
But it's out
part
in the
of
open, and it's not in a
Right.
cave. Or
Right.
maybe underneath. Here, there's a cave, and they grew up through the ground. That doesn't make any
Possibly.
sense. But
Are we? I mean, I know the map doesn't show it, but the map doesn't really show it in any locations. Are we in like a delta-like location? Like, is it possible that there's like little creeks and rivers flowing through this entire area that's scattering minerals and the like around the general environment?
Maybe underground waterways and whatever magic's going on with them is pushing these stones up,
I would say that
showing the pathways.
Blackstar, knowing the area not super well, but well enough, would probably be able to comment on that fact, and that there definitely are streams running through these areas, and definitely
water.
underground caves and streams and everything.
There could be something underneath. I mean, water runs through the outside areas of Tael Noro and the Caldera, but I mean, I don't know why it would make it look like this.
Yeah, so from Xander's perspective, only because he's the one who's trying to like investigate this, right? And I'll just throw it out there for everybody, because Xander's not the main character. Wink, wink. So it's natural because there's lots of natural growth, but the natural growth is growing in an unnatural way. So it must have had some kind of influence. It's definitely patterns that are not like naturally like curves and everything. It looks like it has purpose to it, but you just can't put your finger on why.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
There's
if
a
we
lot
can't
that-
figure out why, I'd rather not toy with it, because it's possible that it's a location of cultural significance for the Giants.
The natural 20 got it to where you noticed that it was there. So it's that subtle on the ground. It's not like I'm up from the sky and I'm looking down. I'm like, oh wow, that's some pretty cool looking land. And then Darrow's like, wait a second, I see some like geometric shapes down there, sort of, kind of thing.
That's a square.
Kind of. And then you
Angles don't
point it
happen in
out.
nature.
Point it out to your party members, and then Xander starts looking at it from more of a scrupulous perspective.
So it's subtle and overgrown, but it is there.
Correct. And it's
Okay.
it's just the ground, and it's spotty trees, and I think maybe I overplayed like how obvious it is from the sky. It's there, but it's not. Yeah, the natural
Sure.
20 is what got you to see it in the first place.
Sure.
Okay. So something to keep in mind, but we're probably fine landing here. All right, so
Okay.
we feel comfortable with a spot around here. I don't know, pick a small cluster of trees to land near, and
Yeah, we just stay on the edge. Play it safe.
yeah.
So with the placement of the rocks in this area, it will be difficult to land more than 80 feet from one of these rocks. You could go further into the forest and try and land in the forest. Of course, now that I've said that, now it sounds like it means something. But I'm just letting you know.
How close to the rocks are you landing? I mean, at this point, we're just trying to find a spot to land.
Sure. I mean, there's plenty of ground. Plenty of flat ground to land on. Like miles of flat ground to land on. So
We just
pick a spot.
take special point of the rocks. And, you know, if we wake up tomorrow and they're in a different spot, we get out of here.
I agree.
Things that aren't supposed to move, that move, are a high level on the fear list.
Yep.
Okay. So
Especially if they only move when you're not looking.
Oh,
That's-
yeah.
So between, oh, sorry, I don't want
No,
to stop
it's-
the dialogue. I don't want to
We're
stop
just
it.
making jokes, so.
Okay. Between Xander and Darrow, you kind of slowly bring it to rest, and you spent some time kind of analyzing this. Not that much time, a few minutes, kind of looking and kind of figuring out what you want to do. You find a spot that you feel you're comfortable with. You know, it's relatively near one of these rocks, and the trees are probably not too far away. You don't want to hit the trees as you're landing, but kind of have
Right.
like somebody hanging out the back, like, yep, all right, a little bit further to the left. All right, yeah, okay, whatever. And then you kind of like settle down. I would like a who is near the back of the puddle jumper, guiding Xander, who's driving it, piloting it.
I'll do it.
I am.
Okay, so that's 1, 2. Is Darrow up at the front with Xander?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would assume so.
So Black Star and Razier, please make a perception check for me.
I want to.
Hey, half the fun of this game is making rolls. That's not true.
Also,
like
part of the
quarter
terror.
of the game. 10% of the game is making. That's not true at
Ooh,
all.
there
It's
we
fun.
go.
I love rolling dice.
Terrible.
So as the ship comes to settle on the ground, Razier, you're looking down. The ground, like it's dense with foliage, but it's flat. There is grass. It's all overgrown. It's like fields and stuff out here. But it's not. This particular area does not have a lot of rolling hills. This is like a very mostly flat area, right? As the puddle jumper comes to rest on the ground, it kind of keeps going a little bit, and it just like is settling down, and you just like look over the edge and you're like, oh, it's settling into the grass. Okay. And then all of the ground out to a distance of hundreds of feet around begins to settle ever so slightly. Just a little bit.
What do
Just
you mean by that?
Tiny bit.
What do you mean by that?
It's like the puddle jumper is causing an effect in a radius.
trampoline.
Kind of a little like that. The whole, like, all of the ground, just like inches, maybe just.
So it's like
kind of
soft, or maybe like not a lot underneath it.
You might think that if you were landing in sand or quicksand and it would be localized. This is out to hundreds of feet, maybe not hundreds, maybe 100 feet out from around where it's coming to rest. All the ground seems to react to the puddle jumper. The puddle jumper weighs quite a bit, you know, it's settling down on the ground. You see like a couple of roots kind of not like moving unnaturally, but just kind of like stretch a little bit, and it just comes to rest on the ground, and there's no sound or anything. It just
Can
comes to
I
rest.
see through the grass at all to the dirt below?
Make an investigation check.
This is the part I love as a DM, but the part I hate as a player. 'Cause I'm just like,
Like, what is it? What is happening? We don't know what's happening.
I have an idea, and if that doesn't get me what I'm looking for, I have another idea.
Okay. You look down, and there's dirt underneath where the grass is. You can, like, even if you want to, you'd like very cautiously, because knowing not only Razier but Eric, get down and like kind of like move some of the grass aside, and you're like, all right, oh, there's this root here. Kind of like move the root aside. Some of the dirt like moves like under where the root was, kind of like displacing it. kind of like falls away a tiny bit, but there's dirt there. You can walk. You feel comfortable walking here.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my ghostly gaze and get 30 feet of X-ray vision to
With
look
X-ray
through
vision?
the ground.
Nice. I forgot that you had that. It gives you 30 feet of X-ray vision. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything's now 35 feet thick.
Everything.
So in this particular instance, I'm not entirely like, if you're looking into the ground, I guess you might see rocks and stuff in the dirt. But you don't. It is just blackness.
Dude, is this like Luffy Gear 5, bro? What is going on? Dude, this is insane.
Now, I will say,
Xander goes and opens the back hatch and says, "I'm
well,
gonna pee on the bouncy ground."
It's been open. Oh my god, you and your peeing. Okay.
Goodness.
Now I will say that if you, if there were, let's say that it was like perfectly, let's say it was sand. Let's say it was 40 feet of sand. I would argue that using your ghostly gaze would just give you nothingness. I mean, I guess you would be able to see the edge of
sand.
Edge of this, of the sand. So when you do that, it is just darkness.
Yeah, there's a hole down there. Is what I'm looking into. I'm looking into a cave beneath a plant grass top.
That's fair.
What do your magic eyes see, Razir?
I ain't seeing nothing. And I let me clarify that's not me saying nothing amiss. I mean, there's not anything down there. Beneath this layer of grass and roots and bit of dirt, there's empty space.
Are we sure that's not how it is everywhere?
It's it's solid ground most other places, unless you're on the water. This is like, were you ever, when you were young, like your parents or something, like you could like get on a blanket or a tarp and they could pick up both sides and carry you around, or like a hammock kind of situation? Imagine that, but like flat out. You're on that and you can like stretches with you, but then underneath there's just empty space till you get to the ground. That's what we're on, except I don't see the ground within the 30 feet I can see.
Well, I didn't have parents, so first of all, thank you for the reminder.
Yeah.
I was trained to be a soldier from a very young age, so I never did that.
Y'all never heard of a hammock? I used a hammock as a addition to it.
Poor people use hammocks. Yeah, I know about those.
Yeah, well, you'd have the parents. You'd have the parents bit of like I don't know, caretakers holding you up by a blanket or something. Anyways,
I think that was
there ain't nothing under the grass.
Royalty.
There ain't nothing under the grass. There's empty space beneath this layer of grass and plants. When we landed, it all went a bit and got pulled. I bet if we hut this, we'd fall right in.
Is it time to throw another magical sword into an abyss and see if it comes back?
Well, there's ground in between.
Not much.
All right. Well.
Oh, so it's probably. So I will say that you probably see dirt and vines and things like hanging down. So that would give you the sense of it being an empty space underneath, but the thickness of what you're on is pretty thick.
Yeah,
thick.
It'd probably be like
relatively
4 or 5 feet thick.
No, not that thick. No, it's probably less than
3 feet thick.
It's probably less than a foot.
Oh,
that's not thick to me.
That's not thick at all. That's incredibly thin.
Yeah, and there's something of the root system that's here that is making it so that it's literally like dirt has built up over who knows how long that has made it like a full ground. It is ground. Like, I mean, from all intents and purposes, it's ground.
So then, could this be a roof to a civilization that lives below, or like ruins?
It could just be a space that had these rocks growing up and then these plants grew over top of it like this, or who knows? Without going down there looking around, it's going to be hard to tell. Do we want to investigate this, or do we want to just move on until we find actual solid ground?
Well, I mean, first question is, can we leave this thing here that long without it just collapsing from underneath us?
I don't know. Has there been any perceived continual sinkage or any like cracking of like blades of grass and roots starting to pop and give way?
Make a perception check.
I'll help him.
Okay.
Do it with advantage.
19. Roll the 1 as my other dice.
Okay. Not only has there not been any additional settling, and you have not said that you've walked out onto this yet. You're still in with the
Nope.
the hatch is down, but you haven't gotten out. Not only has it not moved any further, something about this screams strength. This will hold without any shadow of a doubt.
It's flexible, but it is tough. Strong.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Okay.
Like a bundle of sticks.
Yeah, something about the roots
So,
in this
I mean,
area make it just.
It looks like we
strong.
could stay here. It'll hold, but question is, do we want to? Or do we want to check it out, cut our way through, and maybe make it not tough?
I mean, if I'm being completely honest, I want to know what's down there because I feel like there's been a lack of hijinks recently.
So you want to go and dig?
I'm not going to dig.
Garen's going to dig.
If we do want to cut through this top layer, we might want to wait until we're ready to leave.
Oh, that's
'Cause,
smart.
Like when you cut into a tarp, it gives way. It's
That's-
holding something. So like,
That's a good point, actually. I guess let's sleep on it and then see how it is in the morning, and then we can always go in after that.
yeah,
I'm down with that, but I do think, I don't know, there's so many weird things that happen that never get, investigated any further. Or I guess they do get investigated and then no one lives to tell anyone else about what was discovered.
yep. I mean, the only reason people know stuff as much as they do these days is because it's been so long since the last attack. Typically, those get in the way.
Yeah, that's true. But I want to. I want to look into it tomorrow. I think that'd be fun. There's a lot we don't know about this place that we live in sometimes, so
Yeah.
maybe there's something we can find that can help us with the chainless. Is really the big, like, there's so much that the chainless has access through some of the old technology, and we are essentially ignoring it and hoping that our whatever we have will just work. Maybe we should start fighting fire with fire, as the saying goes.
Oh, I mean, I think we've kind of started to do that with the puddle jumper.
Right. It's the perfect stepping off point. We have the puddle jumper, now we can investigate other things.
Okay.
We were kind of starting to do that back when we were raiders.
Well, how
Kinda
about this?
What we were doing was going checking ruins and stuff. So, might be time to get back to that. See if we can find any things, any kind of extra power to help us out, rather than continuing to hit our head against the wall that is the chainless.
Well,
They're really
we
big
might
ball.
we might discover things the chainless don't know, or we might discover things the chainless does know, but now we're not playing back foot. We're a little more caught up.
Sounds
Secondly,
like a win-win either way.
I think we should at least figure out what's going on here. I agree we should wait until the morning because I do think we need to have a talk though as a team. I think we still been waiting on that. I think that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the longer we go without that conversation, the dangerous it becomes. So, let's make it a win-win in both scenarios. We'll camp here tonight, talk it out, and explore whatever that is tomorrow. I know that B2 would like to come back, but he's scared to come back because he's worried the group's falling apart and it's his fault for some reason. He didn't protect good enough. So, if you want your favorite robot back, we gotta have this conversation.
Okay. So you want to settle in for the evening here?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. With whatever hours of daylight are left, have it charge. Keep an
Sure.
eye on the surroundings. I'd levitate up to a bit of a vantage point to be able to make sure there's nothing.
Is that an at-will thing for you now?
Yeah.
It's always been that way? Okay.
Yeah, since I got it, yeah.
You don't, there's no like max range or time limit on that or anything?
There's a time limit on the spell itself, but I can cast it at will. So
it's-
just
yeah, not a big deal. Just recast it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet. So you can just essentially can go vertical whenever you need to. I will say for the purposes of record keeping for Jason, I will give. We'll call it 3 solium for the remaining daylight that's here. I know that's not a lot, but
Okay.
it was almost sundown at this point.
So how many miles did we travel?
Oh,
100.
that's a good question. It was 20, 40, 60, 80, 9. Yeah, I'll call it an even 100. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So we're at 100, and then how many
Half-
hours of daylight
half
do we have
capacity.
left?
Just one.
Okay, so 102.5.
I was rounding it up to 3. That's why I said 3.
103.
Yeah, I don't like to deal in 0.5s. You found a way to cheese the system. Only charge it for an hour at a time. You get a full 3. No. Don't start doing that. We'll start nickel and dime and everything. Okay, so as you settle
Give
in
him
for
an
the
inch, they'll
evening,
take a mile.
wow. Yep.
It's B2's turn to use the bathroom.
Okay.
He doesn't go to the bathroom, dude. Sit down.
Were you? Are we going for any longer this evening? Is everybody
I got
looking to
nothing
try
to
and
do.
call it early
I
tonight?
would like to sort out this next bit.
What are you
I'm
referring
very
to as
ti-
the next bit?
Well, I'm very tired, and I have my move early tomorrow morning. With that being said, I would like to sort out the conversation that B2 is talking about at the very least, and try and get as much
that's
RP
probably going to
conversation.
be a long conversation.
That's going to be like
Well,
an
yeah,
hour-long conversation.
I mean, that's okay. We can sort it out.
Okay.
But I would like to get that done as much as possible.
Cool. Yeah. So before B2 comes back, or whatever, what do you envision the quote-unquote camping arrangement is for this evening?
Probably largely stay on the ship.
Beds are there.
There aren't any I mean, if you have bed rolls, then that's one thing, but there aren't any beds on the puddle jumper. It's not meant for long-term use.
Yeah,
like that.
but like 3 people could get sleeping bags down inside there,
Yeah. Yep.
and that's all we need.
Sure. Okay. Do you venture out and about outside of it, or you literally just like park and you're like, we're just not flying, but we're gonna stay inside of here. We're gonna pee out the back. We're gonna poop out the back, and we're gonna go. We're just gonna kick our legs off the back of the hatch that's open right now.
Blackstar will go on a loop, like a step, like take a sneak walk in like a clover radius around the puddle jumper. So like in 4 directions, out about 100 feet, left, down, back to the puddle jumper. Say something, down, left, up. So make like a 4-leaf clover kind of around the ship in each cardinal direction.
You said in a stealthy manner, right?
Yes.
So go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
Sneaking around.
That's terrible. Jeez, crackers.
Crackers.
That's not good. Okay. Even with a +8, yeah.
I know, right?
Okay.
I can't see Alex's rolls. What's going on?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
not
coming through to the.
That's because I was DMing before I changed them.
Okay.
Interesting. He rolled a 13, in case you were wondering.
I did.
Perfect.
Which is not, it's not terrible, but it's not great. So I would like Blackstar also to, I know I'm asking for a lot of rolls tonight, but I'd
Oh my gosh, I have to roll in this
make
game?
make another perception check for me, please.
Oh, I'm even worse at that. No, better roll though. So about the same.
15. Okay. As you're making your walkabout around the outside of the puddle jumper, going out to a range of 100 feet or whatever, and doing this and kind of reporting back and kind of looking everything over, you have the time now, even in the dark. You have dark vision, right?
Yes, I do. Everything is
Okay.
just red tinged.
Right, red tinged. That's interesting, actually.
Everything is shades of red for me.
But you recognize when something is a color because you've always seen this way in the dark, right? So you
Yes.
would recognize like blue or would look purple, I guess, right?
Yeah, it would look different than my regular red.
Right. But you would know that's blue, right? Or that's green
Yeah.
or whatever. Okay. So as you're walking around, there's a point where you almost trip over a stone, but you don't. But you're like, huh, that's an oddly shaped stone. And you kind of like you like pick it up to inspect it. It's almost like, oh, maybe this was like a tablet. It's kind of rectangular. You pick it up and you kind of like displace it. And underneath is one of the roots of one of these. But there's bushes everywhere, right? And these roots are extending. And now that Razir has explained everything, it's like, okay, this is a root system that's supporting everything. You pull the rock away, and the root underneath it, immediately underneath it, is not root colored. It's not brown. It's not green. It looks white, and it looks like fresh, like as though somebody had. If someone chopped at a fresh branch of a tree, it would be like white, kind of like a white coloration on the inside, right?
Yeah.
This whole section of the root, which has not been chopped away at, is indeed white. Like as though the dirt has not collected here because that rock was covering this spot, and now you're seeing maybe what is the true color of the roots that are here.
Does it, other than it being a different color, does it look strange at all?
Do you want to get closer and make a inspection of it?
I'll toss.
It's all snakes.
I'll toss a
white
flame.
snakes.
I'll toss a flame.
That's ridiculous. Huh? How tall's what?
I'll toss a flame into it.
How do you? Which of your spells do you use to do that?
Produce flame.
Fireball.
Bright light in 10 feet, dim light an additional 10 feet. I can toss it up to 30 feet. Or even standing further back, I could just create a bonfire that has a 60-foot radius. So I know where it is. Anywhere I can see within 60 feet, I can just make a fire erupt there.
Okay, so which of those things do you do?
Create a bonfire. I take a few steps back. Does anything else look similar to this? Like I see this root. Is there a tree that it's coming from, or is it just a root in the ground?
I would be asking for a closer inspection and an investigation check to do that, to follow it, because there's lots and lots of roots that are all intertwined here to try and find where. Oh, so you look around. No, there's no big tree near you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no like in the area. There's no tree that I'd be like, that's that tree's roots.
Right. No.
It's just a weird, creepy root.
But the thing is that all of the ground here has, to some extent, and according to Razir's description, all of this is being held up by roots anyways. But the trees the roots of this size and that are of this strength, that are so closely woven together, if they were coming from the forest that you're relatively near to, I mean, you're talking like spaghetti, right? Like coming from these trees from really far away. Almost maybe like veins of something, but that also doesn't make sense.
So there was a rock covering it. I moved the rock,
noodles,
and it was like white.
Yeah, it's an off-white, but yeah.
But it connects in certain parts where it's like a normal, like as if dirt had covered it, and it looks like a normal root. But then in this specific, does it look like it's part of some sort of giant net that we're standing on top of?
Maybe that's a feasible, maybe.
Blackstar is now wondering if this is just a giant trap
that extends for miles and miles.
Yeah,
like a giant
that's a little unreasonable.
Trap for giants.
I mean, they're not that giant. Giants aren't that giant.
Like some sort of, it's almost like
They're not
something
Kronos
hides
giant.
them. Yeah, you know what? I want to investigate. I want to look. I want to take a closer look.
Okay. How do you investigate it? You just get closer to it.
I will set it on fire. That's my number one.
You already did that. You said you were going to do that. Okay. So you're gonna do bonfire. Roll damage.
Okay. I take about 30 feet back, and then I look at it and I set it on fire. That's how I investigate things. Black Star School of Investigation.
Okay. So you char the area. It lights up. A bit of dirt and some smaller rocks seem to disappear from the ground and fall downwards as a bit of an opening seems to, like, maybe like a foot wide, opens up in that area. It's not like you couldn't fit through the hole that's been created now. It matches the description of what Razir had described when he looked through the ground and saw it. But your 9 points of fire damage was like barely enough to scratch the surface of this.
Okay.
Barely.
So I'll walk over to it tentatively, and I want to get close. I'm going to look inside this hole that I see now. Not like hands and feet, like peering my head into the hole, but like, do I see anything? Like just a quick
Look down. Okay. I'm gonna carry your 15 perception, and looking down. How far is your dark vision? 60 feet.
Yes.
Okay. You see with your red tint to everything, but I'll just describe what color it actually is because you can actually see it. Although it would be, for everybody else, it would be grays and blacks, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You see,
just as a nitpick, it does. Dark vision does say specifically you can't see colors in the darkness, only like grayscale.
Yeah.
For him, it's just red scale. That is a specifically mentioned point for when you're using dark vision, is you can't see color.
Okay.
Except for me, mine is
it's
red.
It's only
red scale instead of grayscale.
Right. Okay, different levels of red. Okay. Looking down, there is like a probably about 30 feet down, and then like at 40 feet down on a certain other spot, you can only see this hole. You're like looking down at it. there's like a network of roots that are kind of like stretching across and intertwining all down. I said 30 feet. I mean, just in this area. This Razir wasn't standing right here. But anyways, there's like a whole network of like roots underneath, creating this like web of roots underneath. And they're it's all yeah. It's like underneath. It's not as perfect of a layer that you're standing on right now. Like this is like a quote unquote perfect layer of this, and then down below it's like on a diagonal downwards, and then on a diagonal downwards this way, and they're all intertwined. So like if somebody fell through here, they would be like what's that you drop a ball down and it's like like all the way Plinko, there you go.
I think, don't they have that also at like a Chuck E. Cheese too? Because I swear I've fallen through like a rug.
Like on the playscapes that have the net layers.
I've definitely fallen through that.
Is it intertwined like checkerboarded or like hollow bread?
I don't know what that hollow bread.
Hollow bread. It's the Jewish bread that intertwines.
Yeah, I don't have a image in my mind to reference to that.
Hold on.
Yeah, it's like many taut nets that are not, and there are like the same level like somewhat geometric shapes on a smaller level are in these roots. You can pick out like, oh, that's a square, oh, that's a triangle, or whatever. Kind of it's there, it's visible, right? And then beyond it, like the netting or this, I don't want to keep saying that because I don't want you to think that it is a net. I'm not trying to like lead you. It looks like roots, and it just keeps going for like you can't see the bottom.
I want to drop a fire in it.
What's okay?
Produce flame is 30 feet.
So you could hit like the very top part of this.
Yep.
Okay. Would you say that you would have done this walkabout after the conversations with the group?
Yeah, like because we would have landed and we would have talked some. And then once everyone was like getting ready, I'd be like, all right, I'm going to go look around.
Okay. Let's pause this moment and let's flash back to the conversation with the group so that we can bring everybody together here to have this conversation so that Jason can go to bed.
Yeah.
So that moment is what we'll come back to probably after this session is over next session.
Fair enough.
So we'll have to remember that. So as
drops a fire down, turn out some methane chamber, and just explodes.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah, next session is hardly a session. We just blow up in 10 seconds and it's over.
Yeah.
Now that I know what Black Star is doing, next session will be a little more interesting, a little faster. Okay. So,
okay. All right.
Yep. So that's why we're gonna pause there because if
the methane chamber is crazy.
If I had let that go, then that conversation wouldn't have been happening tonight. So we'll pause right there, and so. We're pretending that you've landed. This is before Black Star's gone on his walkabout. You guys have inspected the area. You feel comfortable enough walking on this now. And are you gonna you want to set up a little campfire outside the puddle jumper, like maybe like up, not directly up against the puddle jumper, but like near it, and hang out?
No fire on the grass.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
We need a little portable chemical stove, little torch thing. You can put a pot on that, so you don't need a full fire to boil some water. Things together.
Point of note.
We could just put a pot on his head.
Have Black Star hold it. Yeah,
Black Star head.
Could do that.
My hair is not hot. It is purely cosmetic.
What's not cosmetic is the fire you throw. So just kind of hold that and.
Oh,
Yeah, that's fair.
What were you about to say, Tim?
It's not roots to the point where you're like constantly worrying about tripping over roots. It's ground, right? And there
Yeah.
are some roots that are visible. If you dig down, you'll get to more roots, and then it's an actual root scape.
Yeah. It's
If it's here.
it's like a
It's-
it's like a shag carpet. There's the loose
Kind
top
of.
and then the
Yeah,
connected
sure.
underlayer.
So you can walk on it. There is no give. There's no. It's not like this is not a trampoline. You're not. It's the puddle jumper is
it's
very
only
heavy.
it's only because it was the puddle jumper that it sagged a
right,
little bit. Yeah.
right. And so you're just on ground. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, we're still
And
not going to set it on fire, Tim. You can't get
Sure.
us to do that.
I'm not.
Hill Blackstar does that.
Which he
But that's
did.
a free will.
He is going to in the
Yeah.
future. He's going to.
Yeah, but not yet.
This
Not
whole
yet.
time that we're not setting a fire, Black Star's thinking about starting a fire.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just the default. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you're hanging out. You see that one of the tall rocks, and by the way, these rocks are probably about maybe 15, 20 feet out of the ground. Sticking up.
Would definitely check one of those out at some point. But as we land, all right. So you got a couple things you wanted to bring up. I think we should also talk about. This is our chance to discuss plans for when we're in Tael Noro, because we got a loose idea of we're returning Buttercup and then making contact with the rebellion.
And eliminating the spiked gloves.
Oh, is that something we want to do?
Well, I mean, they seem to have fallen into, cahoots with the chainless. So if that's the case, yes. If that's not the case, and I can somehow redeem them as my, family.
Right. I think I brought it up at one point in the past couple days, but do you think maybe Spot Glove working with the Chainless is actually the Chainless way of getting their foot into the door in Tael Noro and trying to take over that town too? Since they know the Beacon and River already?
The spiked gloves are a noteworthy gang in town, or they have pool. It could be. I don't. The city might be different since the last time I left. I mean, we were already doing jobs for them that I just didn't know about. So,
How long has it been since you've been there?
I don't know. How long have we been doing things?
It's been about 2 months now.
Yeah, coming up on getting closer to the better part of 2 months since you met up with us.
That long? Just about. I mean, maybe like a week. Additionally, onto that.
Beacon was the first town you stopped in after leaving Tael Noro?
No, wasn't the first one I stopped in. I said add like a week or so. I'm not good with time.
Well, and not to mention, if you didn't know what was truly going on, who knows how long they've actually been.
Exactly. Yes, I'm not sure. I mean, I could have done multiple jobs for, not knowing that it was for the chainless. And this was just the first one that I caught on to. So
What benefit would the Spike Club have for working with the Chainless?
well, Tael Noro's a simple city. Money.
All right. That's usually motivation number one.
Power, maybe, Tael Noro, we like our status quo, but, how many more pies are out there in the world that we could put our fingers in, honestly?
Isn't the thing with pies that people keep baking them?
Exactly. There's always pies somewhere, and we want them, and we don't have them in Tael Noro. But if the chainless have the ability to get places quicker than, the spiked gloves were. I mean, we didn't have a boat before I left that I remember.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, what's a desert town gang have a boat for, and a big one at that?
That's what I'm saying. Resources. I don't know. The chainless could offer probably quite a substantial bit to some hungry gangs. If the spiked gloves got more powerful, it's possible that they could,
eliminate other threats or problems in Tael Noro and really seize control. It's a fine balance in the
Yeah.
city that kind of keeps everyone in a, backhand kind of order.
Mm. Was the
Right.
Spike Glove losing influence, and that's why they may be allied with the Chainless?
No, no, if anything, they were probably gaining influence. We were hot stuff.
Mm. Pun intended, I assume.
But yeah, I mean, now that I think about it, other than the fact that the Chainless has just never really been a presence in Town Noro, I mean, it makes sense that at some point, if there was something that we had that they wanted, that they would reach out. And Jericho he was always a bit ambitious, but like the kind of ambition where it's like unchecked by reality, like, like, oh, I'm gonna get this. You
A
don't
little
really need, I don't care,
delusional.
I want it. And it's like, all right, well, we'll get it then.
Right, it's a little delusional.
I mean, he's ambitious, but
And
it's
you
not
said
great.
he was ambitious to the point where it was a little. I mean, forgive me if I'm putting words in your mouth, but the way that you phrased it kind of sounded like it was unrealistic.
Oh, that's perfect. Yes, is unrealistic ambition. Yes, correct.
So would that not make it a little bit delusional?
No.
Is he not blinded by visages of grandeur?
No, he can see just fine.
I'm gonna look over towards Darrow with a lack of hope.
Just like I just kind of go like the shrug of like he's messing with you, kid.
No, I mean, look, it was unrealistic in that it hasn't been that way in Town Noro before. Like, there's only so much for us to have there, and it kind of changes hands and it rotates, and it comes back and goes out, and it's like a weird economy that relies on stealing and bribery and thieves. But it was there. But he always wanted more than that, but there was never an opportunity. So it was unrealistic in like where we stood, but clearly it was very realistic. So not at all delusional. It was just beyond my scope of mind. I don't know. I'm sure smart people like you can understand things that us simpletons, and I nudge Darrow, right? That might never know. And then I wink at Razir. Hey, this guy gets it over here.
Well, I mean, it might be less what you could and couldn't recognize, and just more so a development of our recent political state in the world. I mean, at this point, the chainless run two ish cities, from what we understand, and Mount Solitude is under their jurisdiction as well. So, if the Spike Glove are the kind of group that you say they are, and Jericho's the kind of person you say he is, it's not impossible for the changing state of our world to make him act a little bit different and possibly take up hands with the chainless in exchange for more of that power and money that you're saying that he was hoping for.
I know. I never expected it. Like he was always a bit unrealistic, but he was still Jericho. Tal Noro was home, and we were the spiked gloves, and like that, there was an understanding, and apparently, uh, I guess it just got away from everyone but him, and he's just been holding on to the reins tightly enough to ride it in this way. I don't know. Now that I talk about it, I don't know what Tom Noro is going to be like when we get there. I can't imagine that much chainless because the council wouldn't let it happen like that. But if the spike gloves are powerful enough, I don't know what sort of power balance has been thrown off or anything.
Oh, is the council even still there?
Oh, don't say that. That would ruin my entire year, maybe. I don't.
From what we understand, the council in River was in cahoots with the Chainless.
Yeah, but they were spider people, and you can't trust them. They've got too many eyes.
Okay, so we're being racist. Okay.
It's not racist.
It's I-ist.
It's eyest.
Kind of textbook racism, but that's beside the point.
Appendages.
Appendages.
Right. So we've run into Chainless a few times, and we've mainly skedaddled and got out the way. I think the question here is, depending on the situation in Tael Noro, do we want to get involved this time? Do we want to try and see if we can stop them from taking over, if that's indeed what's happening? Like, I know it's your hometown, and I'm sure you probably would want to, but as a group, do we want to get stuck in on something like that? Like, if we have to take down the Spike Glove to stop the Chainless from getting their foot in the door, do we want to be doing that?
What? Of course we do. What?
It's worth saying out loud just in case,
Oh,
so we're on the same page.
I mean, yeah, like every time we go and then the Chainless take over a city, that's one less place that we have in case things go wrong, and then one more infestation of them. And Tael Noro is that's an infestation already. To add the Chainless to the mix would probably be a problem.
I don't know. Everything feels so connected, and yet I feel so lost half the time. I feel like the Chainless are connected to everything we do, but at the same time, I feel like we, and I gesture towards Razir, have this thing looming over our heads that's a greater threat to any of us than the Chainless could ever hope to be. And are we wasting our time with a smaller thing? Are we? But simultaneously, it's all connected, right? So I don't know what we're actually using our time towards anymore. Is any of this worth it? Are we doing anything?
Xander, you're looking at you're looking too far in the distance.
Yeah.
You're looking off on the horizon. Take your eyes off the horizon, and just look down at your own foot where your next step's going to be. Just take it a step at a time for now. Like, yeah, it's good to look big picture sometimes, but also sometimes you just need to make sure you got your footing under you. Worrying about what we got going on, that's more big picture, that's long term. What's right in front of us, I think, should have our attention at the moment.
I agree. Xander, if you were going to fight two people, but you had the opportunity to fight one of them before you fought both of them at the same time, would you fight them would you fight him first before both and then maybe only have to deal with the one later, or would you just wait and have both of them to deal with at the same time?
I mean, you would want to fight one at a time.
Right. I'm glad we agree then.
But I'm not sure that's an option.
Well, I mean,
we're talking about seeing our next step, but our next step is bouncing underneath our feet. How was I ever supposed to expect a bouncy ground when we landed? Like, what is our next step? We're talking about getting into Tael Noro, and then what?
And then going to the chainless base after a minute.
Right, but then what? Like, we're gonna do the same thing that we did in Sayor, which ultimately might have negligible effects because the Chainless are going to investigate it. We don't know that the Outcasts are gonna come out on the other end of that. If they lose, was all of it for nothing?
No. Yes?
I mean, these are all legitimate concerns, but like, what else are you gonna do? Just not deal with these short-term, smaller problems. Not deal with what's in front of you. I mean, at that point, just might as well just go home.
What would you rather be doing?
It's a really great question.
This is what I'm saying. Like, it's your legitimate questions, sure, but like, are you the kind of person who brings problems to the table and just puts them on there, or do you bring solutions with your problems?
You know,
Uh,
my master once said my that enough pebbles can change the course of a river. So maybe our small actions at the at this moment have no impact. But if the chainless is that big of a threat, people will take notice. They'll take notice of small people taking action, and maybe something will start from that. I know from my experience, doing nothing doesn't change anything. And doing even a little changes just a little.
Is That's true. Count Majestic said something similar. One note can change an entire song.
There you go. I like this man. This Count Majestic.
Count Majestic
Wise.
is the single greatest bard in all of the entirety of known existence.
Mhm. Okay.
That's a
Wow.
fact. You can Google it.
What's Google?
It's a guy in Tael Noro. I'll introduce you. He knows a lot of stuff.
Okay. Listen, Xander, nothing changes if nothing changes. So, if you want to go back to your home and play it safe, then do that. Or, if you want to keep pushing forward, and maybe we don't know where our next step is, but we'll find the ground and we'll keep pushing through, and maybe we'll start to figure things out.
I don't know. Feels like every every step we've taken has somehow been foiled.
You're a fatalist these days. When did this start?
Hmm.
Robert.
Isn't that when you?
Yeah, it is. I ain't so sure about not getting any progress done. In both the chainless bases we've been to, we've disrupted and stopped what they were doing. We marooned a whole platoon of chainless in that other through that portal in the Feywild. They're stuck in there now. We cleared out the beacon base. The Venarian's Watch crew was dealt with. Like we're thinning their numbers at least and interrupting what they're doing.
Yeah, who knows how long it would take them to reestablish whatever they were doing in Sayor or whatever they were doing in Beacon. Like, it's not instantaneous turnaround. Like, they probably don't expect to have things taken from them in general because they're so powerful.
And like Darrow brought up with not playing it on the back foot, the more we do, even if they do eventually recover from it, we then learn what they're doing, know they learn more of the big picture for what they're getting onto. More pieces of the puzzle that we'll be able to eventually see and know how to hit them harder.
I mean, I hope you're right. Look, I
Then
know
we'll
that
crash a puddle jumper into Mount Solitude.
kamikaze.
We always got that on the table, yeah.
Always.
I mean, look, I know that hitting them the way that we are is dwindling numbers and making them weaker, and we're learning and getting more pieces of the puzzle. But we're not attacking the neck of the situation, and I know that we can't, and that makes me feel worse because it doesn't feel like we're going to make any progress until we can take down that piece and then take rid of and get rid of the stragglers. But until then, I mean, it's just it doesn't feel like we're ever going to make any progress because they're just going to send more people from an Iron V or and Nyx Ruinum maybe and Beacon and River and I don't know. I don't know what other places are under their control. And they're just going to try again. And without us there, I mean, it seems like we're the only half competent people, right? Like, am I delusional?
I mean, the
The readers of
rebellion's
Nyx
doing stuff.
Ruinum, the readers of Nyx Ruinum are clearly very powerful, and they're also, at least if they're not aligned with the Chainless, they have Chainless interests in mind, right? They have monetary influence in mind. We're the only people who are actually competent in this world who aren't under this influence. I
Well,
mean,
we'd like to meet with a whole group of people that are.
Yeah, don't forget we're going to talk to the rebellion. Garrett seems to have a straight head on his shoulders and
I mean,
working with the followers of Zill.
look, the rebellion's great, okay, but as big as the rebellion is, they were overrun in River. We can't act like the rebellion's great, and if we can help bolster their forces, that's amazing. But we can't act like they're this super force, right? We know that the Chainless is stronger than them. That's why they're a rebellion.
Yeah. Xander, I think you also forget we're getting stronger ourselves. You're probably twice as strong as you were back when we dealt with that first base back in Beacon.
I know, but we can only be in so many places at once.
That's why we tackle the
Well-
problem we can.
Yeah, deal with what's in front of us, and I hit the side of the puddle jumper. We got this thing now. Get around a lot faster, and you've been talking about getting into magics to move around real quick. You're getting to that point. Seems like we'll be able. I mean, who knows? I don't know what magic you're working on and trying to learn, or what we might find out there if we go explore ruins or whatnot. But maybe you do find a spell to let you be in two places at once, making copies of yourself or something.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Would you? If you made copies of yourself, would like they all be the same you, or would you have one like do a lot of strength training, and then one that learns how to play music, and then like one that learns how to like do druid craft? Like, would you just be one like a bunch of yous, or would you like?
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really sure how it would work, so I think it depends on the limitations of the spell. Uh, but I imagine I would just have me read more books so I could gain more knowledge.
If one of you reads the books, do you all use gain the knowledge, or is it just the one?
I don't. Again, I think it would just depend on the limitations of the spell. Anyway, okay. All this to say, I know that we're doing the right thing. It just sometimes feels like the right thing is for naught if it just always feels like we're losing.
You know, great men who feel this way are often more easily swayed because you don't think you have the power already when the power is already inside you. So you look for things outside of you and like how you can build yourself instead of looking internally and trying to change the way you're thinking. You look externally to try to bolster yourself so you don't have to think more positively. And I mean, that's how people end up corrupt. You know, that's how you end up making deals with devils because you didn't think you already had it in you. I knew a guy once who made a pact of sorts, and then because of that, ended up losing his brother.
Is that what we want to do right now?
I'm just saying, instead of you're doubling down on what you already thought before. You're not changing it. And Louise left for a reason. And you're going to go deeper into that hole because you're upset. And that's an understandable reaction. But isn't there another way? If it didn't work the first time, why will it work the second time? You've tasted it. You've seen what you can lose. Stop looking for something to fix the problem and just look at yourself.
Unfortunately, it just feels like it's too late. The looking at myself, it does nothing for me now. I am stuck in a position that I've forced myself into. I can't go home. I've lost my brother. And the only way for me to solve my problem is by looking externally. I need to find the solution. And whether or not I might be the solution is something that we will have to find. But I don't think that I'm the solution, because Variloth doesn't come from me. We all agree that there's a problem. And while the Chainless are a problem, we all know that there's a bigger problem. That's the problem. I can't solve this by looking inside. Okay? I can't.
How do you know?
Not right now.
What do you mean not right? This is exactly the time to have this conversation. You started it.
I mean, I'm saying not right now as in, I don't think that I have it right now.
I mean, yeah, obviously. Why does he make these faces when he's talking to me?
Right. So it sounds like what we need to do is shift gears a little bit. We've been butting heads with the Chainless and throwing wrenches into their machines and whatnot, literally and figuratively. Maybe it's time we switch gears. Instead of butting heads with them, maybe we need to put them aside for now. Go get ourselves stronger so that we can deal with things better. Maybe it's time we go back to what we were doing before we ran into the Chainless, but go exploring these old ruins. Find some thing or spell or something to get us to be stronger so we have more of a footing to be able to deal with these problems.
Look. I've got my own stuff to deal with, and I'm gonna have to learn to live with it. I've made my own decisions to this point, and I know it's a lot to ask after the way that I've treated some of you. I know that I can be, and I still am, an entitled little brat sometimes. But I'm trying. And I know that I can get frustrated with things, and I'm trying. I don't want people to bend their plans and make things happen because I'm complaining and moaning. Honestly, I want to go to Tael Noro. I want to see things and the world, and I want to see if you'll show us, Black Star, where you grew up and what life was like. And I think that's all really interesting and great. I just have this pit in my stomach that feels like we're never really doing enough for the world.
Who says you have to do enough for the world? Why can't you just do enough for yourself? Maybe maybe that's all it is. Right? Listen, you made mistakes. You're young. That's what you're supposed to do. What matters now is not that you made a mistake, it's how do you react to that mistake. You didn't lose your brother. He's still alive, he's still out there. You don't know what it's going to be like in a year, 2 years. You don't know how you'll come back together. I do not understand at all what has happened in this world. But I know that if I swing my sword hard enough, anything on the other end will fall. And that's how I approach life. And maybe, Xander, it's time for you to approach life a little more like a warrior instead of a snotty, royal, rich kid
Ooh, I love the
who
last.
thinks he gets everything. Because you don't get everything in life. When you fight with a sword, you accept the fact that you're also going to get stabbed. You're going to get cut. And that's life. So, whine about it. Be moody now. Tomorrow, start making that change to be this better person that you want to be. And we'll be there with you. Now, I'll go pull first watch. And Darrow will kind of walk away. Also, just kind of like giving the space of like, the three of you have like a little bit more history, obviously. So maybe if there's something else that needs to be said, but
I think Darrow made an excellent point. We've talked about this, Xander. You're too structured. You're too tied into all these things. You need to let go. You're focusing too much on too many things. Stop. You steal the gold in front of you. You don't think about what the next score is going to be when you've got one score in front of you. Razier was right. You take one step at a time. You can complain to us, of course. You can vent these frustrations, but don't lose sight of what we've been doing, the good it has done. Count every life that has been affected by what we've done. Don't think of everything else. It's too much. You're not that smart. You're smart, but you're not that smart. And you two, you two need to discuss your beef because Lord, it's rank. It's heavy in the air. I can taste it.
I think it's important, Xander, that you keep in mind something. As far as as you perceive the bigger problem, our shared acquaintance, the deal you have with him, it's not like the deal I have with him, or that Blackstar has with his friend. You're you're probably less trapped in than you think, and I think you get strong enough, you have a bit more leverage there. be able to make some changes on your own accord. My deal with him, that's a whole other story that I got to shoulder. That's my thing. But yours is ain't as solid. It's not the same. That's all I'm saying. So keep that in mind. You got a bit more wiggle room than I do. Quite a bit more. Recent occurrence aside, being as intense as it was, you still got room to work.
I have to learn, I guess. It's no different from the rest of my life, so.
Yeah. It's like they say, with great power comes a lot of hard work.
Wait, that's a thing?
Yeah, you got power, you got to work, do stuff with it. It's hard work. Like, oh yeah, some people say, oh, you get magic and everything becomes easy, but then you're doing magic all the time to do stuff. It's like, sure, like how hard is washing a dish, but like you spend magic to do it. That's doing magic. And like, I don't know. It's something some people say. Maybe not so much these days, but
Feel like I work hard for anything.
I mean, you spent a lot of years learning your craft, didn't you? That was the hard work.
Oh, I guess. But I was just a natural.
And look where the kid's natural at.
No, yeah, you're a natural nerd. Bookworm.
So yeah, I think maybe we do need to shift gears. We might need to. Also, the Red King did warn us in Sayor to not mess with his bases, and we immediately went directly to a base and took it over. We
Well,
might want to lay off the heat on them and maybe not go touch another base right after we. Stabbing a hornet's nest is a bad idea, but stabbing 3 in a row is asking to get swarmed.
Yeah, plus now that he knows what we've done, the next one's probably going to be even more hornetier.
Yeah, we might want to give that time to cool off, let them be distracted, take a chance to get ourselves stronger before we tussle with them again.
There's
I
plenty
think it
to
might
do
be
in Tael Noro.
yeah, Tael Noro, and then when we leave there, wherever else we go, that's not the chainless base,
We go to
might be a good
Hyalus.
idea. We could go to Hyalus. We could go somewhere. We could go south. We got maps. We got locations of some ruins to go explore, find some stuff. I mean, remember when we got back in the Requiem? Like, there was some stuff there we got. It's been a while since we checked out a old ruin. We got that one. Bought the map back in Sayor of the them ruins way up north by your town. One's way up northwest. The Terra, was it?
Yeah.
We got that map.
We can always go to Alderbahn.
Could head south to Alderbahn.
Look,
I hear
Never
the ruins
been
near there. Ruins near there too. Couple. We got some places we might
Lysar-
want to go explore.
since the moment I've met you,
Yes.
all you've done is talk about how great Tael Noro is.
Yeah, it's the greatest city ever.
Now, do I believe you? Not for a second.
That's fair.
Am I curious? Too much.
You should be. You should be.
We should at least go to Tael Noro.
Well,
Going
yeah,
to Tael Noro
yeah.
Tael Noro doesn't mean we're gonna mess with the chainless base. We need
Agreed.
to go to Tael Noro.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
we
I mean,
gotta. I point to Buttercup. We gotta
Yeah,
deliver this with grief.
All right, Buttercup's been there the whole time.
Yeah.
She's literally in the funnel jumper this whole time. I totally forgot.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
forgot about Buttercup,
we have to go to Tael Noro for the rebellion as well. Like that is our next destination, but we don't have to go to a chainless
Yeah.
right after that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is we go and do whatever we're gonna do in Tael Noro, deal with some different stuff, maybe
And who-
stop the chainless from taking over,
Yeah,
go see Blackstar's childhood home or whatever it is.
the streets are my home.
See, real quick then, Yeah, go to Tael Noro, do our things there, but then shift direction from there, I think.
Yeah, who knows?
Well,
Maybe the
do us
rebellion
some
has
good.
heard of something that we can go investigate anyway.
Yeah, play that by ear, I think.
Then we could rob people.
Do a bit for ourselves, and then I mean, we will be in Tael Noro. I think that'd only be the polite thing to do.
Oh, have you ever been robbed before, Xander?
Probably not in the traditional way.
What's the traditional way?
Like getting mugged on the street. Like that's traditional way. But like I feel like we've been robbed of opportunities and things in general, having adventured for like in the way that
It
we
ain't the
have.
same. It's very much not the same.
I imagine, but also I feel like getting robbed to a certain degree at this point in our, I guess, adventuring careers is like petty at best. Like if we're getting robbed, it's for a pretty big deal. Like if we're getting robbed by some guy who's just stopping us, I feel like we can handle that pretty swiftly.
Blackstar knocks
Uh,
Xander down, just like pushes him over real quick.
Oh yeah, see, I was going to ask you if you've been counting your gold every day since we met Blackstar. Because as soon as I heard he was from Tael Noro, it became a daily habit.
Secret muggings.
Secret muggings.
Those are the best kind of muggings.
Have I been losing gold?
It's possible.
I need to count my gold right now.
You have a lot of gold. I have over 1,000 gold. I don't know where I got it all from, but
Do
You've
I
been
do I
stealing
need
quite
to
a
make
bit.
a roll for this, or can I just count my gold?
Yeah, you have twice as much gold as me. You've been stealing from a lot of people. You've also made a good chunk of money off of the betting setups you've had going with
oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
like with Garen and then other shenanigans. You're a bard. You make money. You're
Blackstar has not been stealing from Xander.
Okay.
Now I will.
No way. I'm gonna count my gold every day.
Now that being said, on a more looking out for you kind of note, you aggressively sought out drugs back in Sayor.
Yeah, he did.
And while that's inherently concerning, you're free to do what you want, as long as it's not when you're in distress and it becomes a problem. There's a different sort of vice in Tael Noro that I want to warn you about, and that's gambling. Because not only is gambling a problem, they're all cheats. Well, a lot of them are cheats.
You go ahead. No, it's all of them, I think.
Yeah, some of them don't have to cheat; they just kind of strong arm you. But
Oh,
Yeah.
is Tael Noro just Paris? Oh, all these street games, dude.
Oh, yeah, there's
Yeah.
plenty of street games. They're the best.
yeah, it's also a bigger spot. Look, I'm just warning you about gambling. It almost never turns out good.
Yeah, I mean,
I hold up my prosthetic hand and shake it a bit as I say that.
insight check. There's no way. There's absolutely zero chance. Total 16.
I'm telling the truth. I ain't never gambled since.
All right. I gamble all the time. It always works out for me.
Yeah, but you're one of them cheats. I was younger and less inclined to pay attention and or cheat.
Why did you offer your hand?
Oh, I didn't offer my hand.
No, sometimes
I just
sometimes
they wanted more than I had to pay off. They
there's
took
no
what they
dishes
could.
to wash in Tael Noro.
So yeah, don't be gambling.
Or do.
If you're gonna gamble, make sure you're doing it with Black Star.
Yeah, I'll gamble with you. You want to gamble some?
I mean, if that's part of the local culture, then I will.
Yes, we're gambling. Razir, we're gonna do it.
Truth,
Well,
truth be
I
told,
ain't touching none of
I
it.
think I'm a little bit partial to the bottle or smoking if I had a choice, but
Plenty of that around there too.
Well, are you left-handed or right-handed?
I'm left-handed.
Okay. Don't tell anyone that.
Well, I mean, the majority of people are right-handed, so I mean, I
They'll
can.
ask you.
Yeah, and I'll just tell them I'm right-handed, and they'll just believe me because that's just a natural response.
All right, you are smart then.
Just
I,
not to.
I'm-
No, go ahead.
I've become better at lying? Question mark.
Is that? Are you asking me?
No.
Was that also a question? I don't know. I can't tell. Everyone's bad at lying, if you ask me.
Yes.
But yeah, be careful of that when we get there.
I'm just thinking that maybe someone should tell B2 as well.
Probably. B2 is gonna be with Black Star the whole time. Don't worry about it.
Blackstar, I have a royal flush. What does that mean?
Hush up now, little robot.
Could be like Data from Next Gen where he's
Right.
shuffling and they're like, we can't tell if he's stacking the deck or not.
It's pretty good.
I want to look at some things before we go to bed. I'll be back shortly, but you guys should talk a little bit because there's a lot there. But Xander, listen. Bring it in because you need a hug. And you're going through it, and that's okay. But you need to know that, we're all adventuring together, traveling together for a reason. You don't have to go through it alone. We can all go through it. And then I'll hug
I'm
Xander.
watching his hands while he hugs
And
him.
as I do that, I will steal money from him.
Does Razir make a perception check? Sleight of hand from Black Star. It's going to be 37 from Black Star.
I mean,
some ridiculous
definitely,
thing.
Oh, that's not
definitely hearing.
I disagree.
Definitely
29.
hearing that there were secret heists going on. I definitely
secret
want to.
money.
I definitely want to be want to
No, yeah.
know.
Xander needs to make a perception check as well, but I don't think you can beat
Okay.
a 29. So.
I don't unless I get a natural 20. But even then, it's worse.
Oh, okay.
I'm only taking one coin from him.
I not knowing that I am gonna use a chronal shift to reroll that because he wouldn't know. So he would see the worst outcome and be like, "Oh my god."
Oh, so close to that nat 20 too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One gold coin. Xander
All right.
subtract one gold coin.
Okay.
And after I do that, I'd be like, now, just think long and hard about what we've talked to you about. And now you guys, hash it out. And then as I walk away, I'm gonna flick the coin back and watch your pockets.
Ting.
Okay. I'll pick it up again. Look towards Razir. So,
hmm Sorry your brother left.
it's probably for the best.
It might turn out that way, but it didn't have to go that direction, and that is ultimately on me, so I do apologize for that.
No, I'm mad at you, but it's not your
Fair.
fault. I did everything that got us to this point.
Yeah, but wasn't just what you did.
Well,
And look, it could be worse. Obviously, at least he's off working with another group that is, by definition, good guys.
yeah, I mean, I can only hope. Obviously, we don't know everything about them. Everything we've seen, they're definitely the good guys. Um,
Yeah, and not like red the not like the chainless good guys where they think they are because they
yeah,
got big picture ideas, but they're doing terrible stuff. These guys are just doing good. Also, you know your I know your brother a bit, but you know him better. He'll stick around if they're doing good, and he ain't gonna stick with them if they turn out to be rotten.
yeah. I just, I don't know. You guys are the first group that I've ever adventured with, and
Yeah, it's
I,
that's an
I,
unfortunate thing.
I wanted us to be the good guys.
Hmm.
It just feels more complicated than that now, and that's both of our faults.
Yeah,
And I just was hoping that my first group would be everything you read about in stories, you know. But it hasn't been. And I think I think it might be the hope that's killing me. And I think I need to give in a little bit and surrender to how much everything sucks.
yeah, yeah. That makes sense. You got a pretty cushy upbringing. Things are all nice back home for you, and the rest of the world just ain't like that. At least not for most folk. It's rough. It's hard and takes a lot just to survive. So yeah,
Yeah.
life does kind of suck, but you can make the most of it. We're doing not too bad. I mean, we ain't criminals mostly. Uh, yeah, well, I'll say that much. We ain't criminals. We ain't fooling people. We ain't robbing people left and right. We ain't
I'm a
stealing
criminal.
everybody's. Yeah, I said mostly. We're we're generally trying to do good. The methods might be a bit rough and things might not turn out the best way, but I think in general we're trying to do good things. We are helping people. I mean, could be worse. I mean, half the time some young kid gets excited about the stories he reads and goes off to adventure, he don't make it. Let alone being a criminal or stuff. A lot of folk just die. So we're surviving. We're trying to do good. We're helping people out. Could be a lot worse.
Could be. I could be in Dreek's position.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I
I
think
think it's
that
just I think it's just a lot has happened real quick, and It's all kind of piled onto you right now, and it probably feels heavier than it might be. So I think give it a bit of time, put some
Well,
stuff down now, and
I
don't let
I
it all weigh on you.
I mean, I definitely think it's as heavy as it is. I can't go home.
For
I've
now.
Yeah, but that's not how things were supposed to go, but I never would have imagined in any sense of the word my mom telling me that I can't return. And I don't even know what happened. She just told me not to come back. I mean, it could have been her, it could have been my brothers and sisters, and it could have been my dad. And I don't, I have no clue what happened. She just said not to come home. And I don't think that there's any world where that's not as heavy as it is.
Yeah. But I mean, at least your home's still there. And I
Is
think
yours not?
no. No. I think give it enough time. You get stronger, you get things under control. I think your options will change.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, out of all of us, you're the one who's grown the most. You've gotten the things you can do now compared to what you could do then is worlds apart. You're already making leaps and bounds, and I can only imagine what's going to come out of you once we actually focus on getting stronger rather than just having that be a byproduct of what we do.
I hope you're right. Because I'm serious about taking care of business.
I believe you. I do.
And there are people who don't. And they're going to have to learn. Uh,
Yeah.
um, yeah, um, I should. I'm still mad at you. I'm not gonna apologize to you yet, even though it might be a little petty.
Nah,
Um,
you don't need to.
I I do have to apologize to somebody else.
All right.
So I'm gonna go do that, and I will wander away towards Black Star.
Blackstar went outside to talk to Darrow.
Go for it.
Darrow.
I want to
Come
be
on,
here.
the-
I want to be here for this so bad, but I have to pee so bad. You have no idea. I'm so here for this, even though I'm not. I'll be right back.
You can watch it later. It's fine.
Yeah. Daryl comes out of the bushes. No.
What are you
Those
doing in the
are
bushes?
What's up, Black Star?
What do you think? I mean, you're a pretty dour guy. Xander's being really dour. It's like gloomy over there.
Yeah.
Didn't you like lead soldiers and stuff when you were a normal human person?
Yeah, yeah. But I think that's a little different, given their their backstory coming into a war to protect their homelands. It's a little easier to find motivation.
Yeah, but like, isn't that all this is at this point? Is like a war against the Chainless to protect our world and the ones we love?
Well, that's a good point. I don't know if Xander sees it that way.
Don't you have like inspirational stuff that you can hit him with?
I mean, I think I just did. I
I
felt
mean,
like I dropped the mic in there, you
I,
know?
I, it's true. I did like what you said, but like, he was still really sad. It's like when you kick a dog and then like the dog looks sad, so then you kick it again and you think it's gonna be happy the second time, but then it's not any happier.
No, no, I don't know what that's like.
Have you never kicked a dog?
I have accidentally kicked a dog and have felt very bad when that has happened, and the dog looks at me sadly, and I apologize, and the dog doesn't understand that.
I mean, have you set one on fire before?
No, no, fire's your thing. That's not my thing.
Uh, I mean, I haven't set a dog on fire, so
Good, good.
it seems cruel.
Well, I just think he grew up a little sheltered, and so his whole worldview is being broken. And I don't think any amount of words will fix that right now. I think he's at the point where he's got to decide where he goes from here. You know, you're a bard, right? At the end of the day, Count Majestic spent all his time and energy training you, but you're the one who had to make the final decision to go up on stage and perform, right? At the end of the day, no matter what Count Majestic did for you, you had to make that final decision.
Well, I mean, I had been on the stage before I met Count Majestic.
Okay, well, I don't know your full experience, but the point being is you still had to make that decision. And right
I mean,
now, Xander has to make that decision.
that's fair, but you'd think he'd be a bit less stubborn. I mean, I know he's smart, but you'd think he'd catch on that he's not always so smart that he's right about everything, but it hasn't sunk in yet. I feel bad for him.
Well, I feel like he feels that he has to be right about everything because he sees himself maybe as the smart one of the group, and if he fails at that, that means he has failed the group.
That's a
Perhaps
fair
that's
point.
his only identity, is he's the smart one. And from what I've learned, perhaps he grew up always hearing he was the best or he was the smart one, and you know, there's plenty of cases of people accelerating and excelling when they're younger and then be put in real scenarios in their adulthood, and that worldview gets destroyed.
That's a good point. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's fair though. Like everyone else has had experience with things except for Xander, and then sometimes Garen concerns me, but he's from Hyala, so it makes sense. And then your alter ego is also quite concerning. Love him to death. Ripe for the picking in Tael Noro. He will get robbed blind or secret mugged. Um,
I think he'll just hand out gold because someone asks him.
Oh, a reverse mugging. Classic. Classic.
Yeah, yeah. I just just make sure he doesn't get rid of my sword. I don't think I need gold as a metal man, but don't get rid of my sword.
I'll make sure that your sword is well cared for. Though I think B2 likes it also, so I don't think he'd get rid of it.
True, but I feel like B2 is the child I'm dropping off at school with no pre-learning.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good analogy.
I think Tel Noro will be his first. I mean, like he kind of was in Seor, but Tel Noro will be his first city.
Yeah, it's a
That's
lot.
gonna that's gonna be a lot for him.
It's a lot. I guess I forget how much experience everyone has compared to Xander.
Yeah, he's young, and you know, he's smart, but he's also kind of stupid.
I know they're always stupid, the smart ones.
Yeah,
That's why they're so easy to secret mug.
yeah, yeah. You keep saying secret mug, and he kind of pats himself just slowly, just yeah.
Well, you keep backing up, so I can only imagine you want some alone time.
Well, I see more that someone else wants to talk with you, and we look back at the hatch, and I would assume that's about the time Xander's walking down.
You want a hug real quick?
I'm not a hugger.
Oh,
I'll fist bump.
not as much fun for me, but fine.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go do not weird things.
That I instantly don't believe you, but I also know that I can't stop you. So
Turn around. I see Xander. You want another hug?
I mean, if you want to give me one.
I absolutely don't. I would just rob you, but it's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Um. Look, I wanted to apologize for how things went at the cemetery.
Why do you need to apologize?
I don't know. It feels like you and everybody else got caught up in the middle of whatever beef Razir and I had, and that doesn't feel good. It feels like you guys got caught up in something that I and Razir kind of forced your hands on because you're just traveling with us. And
What? Why do
I
you think you have so much control over other people?
I mean I don't. It's less about that and more about just the situation that was at hand.
Do you know my situation?
In terms of,
Like what I did, why I did it? Do you know any of that?
well, I mean, yes,
Do
you s-
you?
you stole you stole the arcane battery. I mean, stole is a
No, I'm talking about
heavy
the
word.
graveyard. I don't, the rest of it is ancient history that happened so long ago.
I mean, no.
No. So what? This is what you were apologizing, and you don't even know what my real role in anything was. You're just assuming that you had this control or like this
Well,
influence.
I just thought maybe you had an idea and my idea was different, but we weren't really on the same page, and I just thought you and everybody else kind of got caught up in something That wasn't really supposed to be that way.
Oh, no, I was asked to do something and I was gonna go do it.
What?
Yeah, I was asked to do something.
What were you asked to do?
Some stuff.
I mean, I guess ultimately it isn't my business to know.
Well, I
Um,
mean, it's as much your business to know that as it was my business to know what your plan was.
that's fair.
But I mean, I had a plan, and so I was gonna do it. None of us talked about our plans, but it's not like you're the only person who had some sort of influence, and no one tells me what to do if I don't want to do it.
That's also true.
You don't have to apologize. Xander, you need to let it go. We've talked about this. How many times are we going to talk about this? It's not that serious.
I almost killed you.
Okay, what did you?
I mean, kind of.
It kind of. You didn't even kind of kill me.
I mean, it kind of felt like a sentencing once I froze you.
Oh, I mean, it certainly wasn't pleasant, but I mean, you didn't kill me, and honestly, you pulled your punches, didn't you?
I tried.
Right, you could have killed me. So did you?
No.
Right, you have like fancy wizard stuff. You could have killed me before I even saw you, but you didn't.
I mean, I guess so.
What do you mean you get? There's no. This isn't a guessing game. You didn't.
I don't know what to say to that. Like, I didn't think that me offering a genuine apology to someone I consider my friend would end up with them saying, "Well, you didn't kill me, so it's whatever."
Well, you didn't kill me, and it is whatever. Like, you don't need to apologize for something you didn't do. You you didn't influence me. I wasn't caught up in anything that I didn't choose to be caught up in. What are you gonna apologize for me choosing my own life?
No.
Okay.
I just didn't know that you knew what you were getting into.
Oh, oh, I know what I chose to do, and I willingly chose to do it.
I'm so voraciously curious, but
I
something tells me you won't tell me the full
I
details.
I won't tell you simply because you're curious. That's really mostly what it is.
That's fair enough. What if I paid you?
No, it's not as much fun. I'm not
Fair
in the
enough.
information brokerage game.
Yeah, yeah. All
That's
right.
other people in Tael Noro. I never got into that one.
Well, I'm sure that I'll receive it as a random piece of information approximately 20 sessions from now. So, until then, I guess do you want my apology or do I rescind that
Yeah,
or
you just act like it never happened.
okay.
I mean, have I brought it up at all?
No.
Do you think I harbor any kind of feeling about it?
Insight check, even though I know I'll fail. Oh, 22 on the off chance. On the off chance. And there it is.
Whoa, that was close.
Wow.
Literally that one difference in your bonus.
Uh,
All right. Um. Uh. I mean, no. The way you're acting makes me think you don't harbor any feelings. So no.
I don't. Xander, when have I ever felt so strongly about anything, honestly?
Count Majestic.
Right. I will kill that man when I find him. Um, but otherwise,
Hmm. Yeah, I guess nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
the strongest I've ever seen you feel was Cal Majestic, and when we tell you no, you can't burn things.
I really don't like when you guys tell me that. Look, what we've talked about this before. What is life about? We've had discussions. What are you caught up on? And what do I have absolutely nothing in me for? Just control? Like I have freedom. Freedom is my muse. You're too caught up in the weeds of it all. We
Yeah,
hugged it out when I first saw you after the graveyard. What made you think you needed to apologize any further than that?
I don't know. Kind of felt like it was an in the moment pity kind of thing.
Pity. Ew. Pity you. You're a powerful young mage. I think I robbed you a little bit also, but I don't remember it happens so often.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm kind of clueless sometimes, all the time.
All the time. Look, just worry less. You're always so caught up in like that, the hows and whys. Like, let it go. Just do the thing. You can't fix everything. You can't solve every problem with the wave of your magical hand. Not yet. That'll be terrifying when you can do that. You just, it's a fundamental difference. You're going through hard things. You're experiencing hard life. You haven't had it before. Let it wash over you. Bathe yourself in the realities of the world and come out clean. Stop apologizing. It doesn't do you any justice.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I did what I was already planning to do. I had a mission. I had a thing to do. I chose to do it. You and Razir don't hold any sway over me, except the sway that I give you, and then I take it back because it's only on loan.
Okay. Okay. I believe you, and am I'm not sorry for making an assumption.
Very good. Bring it in, and I hug him,
I'll hug him
And
back.
and I steal from him.
Okay. There it is. I'll try again.
Oh, you got a much better chance this time.
Nope, I don't.
Oh wow.
Mm.
Mm,
I take
wow.
Chronal
one
shift.
coin.
Second chronal shift.
Sure, you want to burn those?
Could've.
Ooh, that was so close.
Oh, so close.
Closer.
All right. I take one coin from him. And as I'm walking off, I'm gonna go do stuff. Now stop following me. And I flip the coin. Watch your pockets.
Oh my goodness. Um, yeah. As he walks away, and I've been informed that I'm too caught up in the weeds of it all, I will use, for the first time ever, because I've never done this before, I will use my Robe of Stars to enter the astral plane to try and space out.
Ooh.
Okay. Do you go anywhere in particular when you do this, or you're just like walking back and then you use what is the verbiage on the?
It just says when you wear the robe, you can use an action to enter the astral plane along with everything you are wearing and carrying. You remain there until you use an action to return to the plane you are on. You reappear in the last space you occupied, or if that space is occupied, the nearest unoccupied space.
Is that like a once per day thing?
It does not.
You can just
that.
enter the astral plane whenever you want to and stay there until you decide to come back.
Yes.
You've had this whole time since Sayor?
I just realized that that is a part of the item. I thought that I could just cast magic missile whenever I wanted to. No, this is also something that I can just do.
Just uses an action, enters it, and doesn't come back till he uses an action to come back. That's so cool.
How long does Xander intend on going there for? Or when he casts the spell or uses this ability, does he have an intended like I'm gonna hang out here for the night kind of thing?
No, it's not for the night. It's more just kind of like I think it's just kind of to separate himself from the world that he's currently in. Kind of space out for a little bit.
How long?
An hour max, I think. I think he would give himself some space, but he doesn't want to disconnect himself too much from everything that's happening because he still wants to experience it. Feels like he needs to feel it as well. I don't know what the space-time warp is for the astral plane.
Is there a space-time warp?
I don't know. I have no clue.
Okay. And this was the robe that you got in Pluto's, amongst Pluto's, that's funny. Pluto's belongings, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I'd check my notes for you, but alas.
They are gone.
Okay. Let me just double check on something real quick before I misspeak.
I'll have Felix check his notes for you.
Oh, it's the time passes the same. So 8 hours on the astral plane is the same as 8 hours on the prime material plane, but physical effects like time, aging, hunger, and thirst are suspended. So you'll be 8 hours young. You'll save 8 hours of your life being in the astral.
Yep.
Epic sauce.
How confident are you? Like you wouldn't have gotten this from anywhere else. This is the robe that you got from Pluto, quote unquote, Matthias Termos.
I'm pretty. The only other place that I could have possibly gotten this from is from the vampire's estate.
Okay, he wouldn't have had that. I'm pretty sure
so
that
I'm
was.
Pretty confident that's where it's from.
Because I have a specific thing, but I just wanted to make sure that it was the thing that I was.
Yeah, they looked like tattered robes at first, and then turned out to be
okay.
Fancy.
Okay. I had a specific way that I was trying to end the session, and
you don't have to do this right now. We can.
Just so you're walking along, you kind of concentrate for a second as you have these robes on, and there's like a veil of stars, just very kind of translucent and kind of like flittering in front of you, and you like pass through it, and all of a sudden it is just complete and utter silence around you, and you are suspended in nothingness.
This is like a drug.
You are you are just hanging weightless in a sea of stars out on the distant horizon and around you, with a huge glowing swirling almost like galaxy size level like star that looks like it's mid explosion, but it's also swirling at the same time, and it's like looks like it's way off, but it's also massive. And you're kind of like looking around, and you just like kind of realize that you can be in this meditative state because there's zero sound, there's zero senses except for the light coming from the stars that are kind of beaming on you. And in the darkness around you, there's a shape kind of like focusing on this star-like thing and the constellations and everything, and in the some kind of shape passes across a couple of the different stars, blocking out their light. You can all you see is like the darkness, like the shadow that's blocking the light of these stars that would be coming past it.
Is it like humanoid?
No,
Okay.
it's much, 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 much bigger, and it's a decent ways away from you. And you've probably read about the astral plane, maybe, knowing that you have the ability to will yourself around in this space. Interesting that the robe that you found in the house of Matthias Terramore would take you to this specific spot. But you feel no particular compulsion to move towards this shape. You can't even make out what it is. It's not like there's no light illuminating it, or there should be from this huge swirling star. But it's almost like it has a cloak around it. But that invisibility is making it, the lack of light there is what's making it visible, because it's blocking the light of the other stars that should be on the other side of it. So it's like a silhouette that you're seeing. And it's like kind of somewhat rectangular, and then has like other parts of it that look pointy that come off of the back of it. Looks like it's pretty far away from you.
Yeah. Mentally, Xander's he's closing his eyes, and he's like, nope, I'm not going to go towards it. Just like Blackstar said, curiosity kills the various creatures. I'm not gonna do it. I'm just here for me.
Yep. And you float for the time that you're here.
Oh, I gotta go see it. And so he'll try and will himself a bit towards it.
Okay. You will yourself, and you get closer and closer, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Holy smokes.
And bigger. And you get to the point where it's beginning to block out more and more and more and more and more of the stars, because you're getting closer to something that's blocking the light from them, right? So it's just the silhouette still. You get to a point where you're so close to it that you can't see the stars on the other side of it at all. It's a massive gargantuan wall, essentially. But it's not. You know it's a shape of something. Something there. And you get up, and feel like you're close enough where you could touch it. And it has kind of a slightly reflective, like a cloak to it. Like an invisibility cloak. Like I don't know. Somebody who's invisible, but there's something that's there, but you can't see what's on the other side of it. It's just a dark shape. And you reach out and put your hand, and it's cold. It's a cold, hard metal. And based on the size of it, and the shape would have become a little bit more apparent of the silhouette as you were getting close to it. It reminded you of something that's like a cross between what you saw Joran Kor taking off in and the Puddle Jumper, but way, way, way bigger. You know what I'm describing. Jason knows what I'm describing.
Yeah.
But Xander can't even begin to understand why. What? Like.
Guys, it's the Death Star.
That's no moon.
Xander.
It's the Battlestar Galactica.
Xander, mustering all his courage, takes his feet and pushes away from the metal surface and kind of has to steel himself because he's already caught up in the weeds, and this is just unlocking another mystery that he can't focus on right now. So he forces himself to drift away from it and just try to lose himself in the silence.
Okay. So you lose yourself in the silence, and you spend the amount of time that you wish to spend here. But the last detail that you notice as this giant object ever so slightly turns and catches just the right angle of the light on the side of it where it bounces off, and whatever this cloak is seems to disappear for just a millisecond, to where you can see the full side of this massive ship that is hanging suspended in the astral sea where you are right now, and letters on the side of it can be clearly read, which are also massive, but you're far enough away where you can see them, and it just says Pluto on the side of it.
Dude. Yeah. Oh, man.
We're gonna play Starjammers.
We've been talking about playing Spelljammer for a long time now. When you eventually are going to come out of this, because we're going to wrap up here in about 60 seconds. So we can come back to this if you want to, but I'm going to jump out of this and back to, believe it or not, what Black Star was about to do, so we can wrap this up. Are you cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-oh, it warranted a music change.
Black Star, there's the of the flame as the tiny bit of ground disappears, and a bit of the dirt and rocks kind of fall inwards, making no sound at all. And you approach the hole, looking down and seeing this strange intersecting cordage and vines, all of a similar color to the one that you uncovered. You hold out your hand and cast your flame down into the darkness. It travels for a moment, and you almost feel like your vision pulls away, seeing where the flame is traveling through the empty darkness beneath where you're standing currently. A large bird-like creature that's flying beneath your feet that looks almost like a manta ray cruising through. It's large manta ray, but it's not like gargantuan sized. Cruising underneath, just so happens to fly directly beneath where your fire is traveling towards. And instead of intersecting with the cordage beneath, it hits this creature, who seemed not... Just your brief glimpse of it as your flame illuminates just a small area around, and you see like the side of its wing essentially engulfs it. And it lights up. The creature plummets. And because it's on fire, you can see as it falls further and further down, passing 10, 20, 30, 80, 100, 150. It's now just like a little light down at the bottom, and you're like, oh my. This just keeps going and going and going. And finally, hits the bottom. And a bit of the flames kind of light up around it. And a bunch of limbs come over to where it is at the bottom. You see, even from this distance, spider-like creatures with humanoid torsos and arms and heads with faces look at this flaming creature that's hit the bottom and turn and look up at the hole where you are.
Oh boy.
And immediately, as you're peering down at this is a spider web. A face right at the hole slowly comes into view, upside down, and just it has like snake-like hair coming down from the sides of it and piercing red eyes, open, just mouth slightly agape with fangs dripping from it as it's upside down and just looking up at you and smiles. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
No way!